What is up, y'all? Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome once again to another show, another episode on this lovely Monday afternoon. This is Miguel Antonio Barragan, aka Fight Fiend Migs, joined as always by my co-host Andrew. Don't get it twisted, Lapachet, who you heard their coughing as we started.
Oh,
And
did
thank you.
that? That was caught.
That's
My bad.
but he's okay. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you guys' time. As always, of course, thank you for letting us, ramble on about the ongoings of the sport of boxing, and let us know whether or not you agree or disagree with our stuff, the things we have to say. So we got quite a bit. Last week we thought we weren't going to have too much today, just because the only fights worth watching, or fight I should say, was Derek Chisora taking on Joyce. But we have plenty to talk about that, and there actually has been quite a bit of news since then. I should say leading up to that. Other stuff, everything from Canelo Berlanga being announced to a new UFC main event being announced. We're going to toss in here shortly. These partnerships between Riyadh season and Top Rank and Golden Boy. A lot of things happening actually. So oddly, we don't just have one fight to talk about. We have quite a bit to talk about, and of course, there's going to be the build-up show. This weekend. We have Terrence Crawford taking on Israel Madrimov on pay-per-view. We're going to make sure to talk about that, and of course, the undercard fights, because the undercard fights are pretty damn solid. I will have to say that. So definitely much to talk about, and we're going to squeeze it all and cram it all into a couple of hours. So hopefully, y'all buckle up for a nice little countdown show for this weekend's fights. Before we get into all of that, Andrew, how you doing? Heard you coughing earlier, man. Tell me you're not getting sick, please.
Mhm. No, I'm fine.
All
My bad. That was
right.
clearing it up before we get on the air.
Like, are we on? Ugh. Yeah.
No, we're doing good,
How
man.
was your weekend? Doing all right? You got your little
Yes.
cafecito?
Weather's good. Kids are on their final weekend before school starts. Oh wait.
Oh,
No, I
no.
think you got one more weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
One more weekend and then school starts. Yeah. So this is it for them. Took them out to a lake um this weekend. We went out there with my brother. They were swimming.
Mm.
Uh, my brother has kayaks, so
Oh, nice. Yeah.
yeah, we got to take those out. So very nice, relaxing.
Did you get on the kayak? Were you like canoeing or
Oh
whatever?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I tried. Then when I got back, my brother was like, "Yeah, you probably want to hold it farther out." I was like, "Ah, is that what I was doing wrong?" I sure felt like I was doing a lot of work and not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I seen the, I've done it before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, I think I was holding them in the wrong position. Maybe I think
Yeah.
that's what he was trying to tell me in a nice way.
Like, learn from me. Well, watch how I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done kayaking a couple of times. I went to North Carolina once, did it with one of my BFFs, close BFFs. He was in the military over there. But we went down this like super calm, I don't know what you would call it. It's called Cape Fear, as a matter of fact, what the place is called. But it's like super chill. And then here nearby we have Willow Creek, or no, Willow Beach. Did that there. So kayaking is mighty fun when the waters aren't too rowdy.
Cape
Um,
Fear doesn't sound
it,
relaxing.
it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean,
Isn't that the movie where Robert De Niro bites some chick's cheek off?
Yes, it is. It is. It's actually a remake. The movie was originally from like the '60s, and then they did
Yeah,
a
good
remake in the
knowledge.
'90s. Yeah, because that's one of my favorite movies. I like watching that movie. I like once the summer gets going, I like to watch summer type movies. I like, I Know What You Did Last Summer. I like to watch Jaws. I like to watch that one because although it's not really about summer, it's kind of centered around summer. So I like to watch like summer, type movies, and I like, of course, Friday the 13th movies because they're all like at a camp, stuff like that, right? So anyway, I get into the mood of the summer, and then of course I watch that particular movie. But apparently this place, when I saw it, I was like, this shit is called like the movie. What the fuck? So then I got a little scared, right? And then my buddy was like, no, dude, it's pretty shallow. Like if you topple over, like it's around your fucking waist. I'm like, okay, cool. So it ain't too deep, but still, a few times there was some areas that were a lot more shallow, and we got stuck on the rocks. So he
Oh
was
yeah.
right behind me. He's like, oh shit, let me hit you real quick to knock you off this rock. So yeah, and I'm not a terrible swimmer. Funny because I'm a Pisces, right? Supposed to be a fish, but I'm a terrible fucking swimmer. So I can't even dunk my head without plugging my nose. That's another story. I learned to swim later on in life. Uh, well, that being said, now that you're all caught up in our weekends goings, we have quite a lot to talk about. One of the one of the weaker stories of this weekend, we saw a 50-year-old or nearly 50-year-old Manny Pacquiao have himself an exhibition fight that was lamer than lame. Really, the only reason we're even bringing this up is because supposedly, from what we understand, there was talks of Manny Pacquiao wanting to get in the ring with, another top fighter still. I'm going to say top, but Mario Barrios, who I believe holds the championship belt at welterweight. There was talks about that, right? It was like Manny actually wanted to go in there with some other young gun, and he, said that at some point it could have potentially been Mario Barrios. After seeing the way he looked this weekend, I hope that doesn't actually happen. Who else was there that weekend? Mr. Ryan Garcia, because he has to be somewhere, right? He's got to be somewhere in front of a goddamn camera every fucking weekend. So he made a little bit of a splash at the weigh-ins for this exhibition fight that Manny participated in, flipping off fighters flipping him off. They all talking smack at Ryan. Ultimately, Ryan ended up having like this post-fight picture stare down with Manny. Oh gosh, the drama of this stuff. But not drama. What do I call it? The circus that is this whole weekend with Manny's exhibition fight and
With
Ryan.
all these exhibition fights,
But that too. But
yeah.
what do you make of this? What do you make of this circus?
Well, I didn't watch it. Look, they're saying Manny looked old, and I'm happy because Manny is old.
Yeah.
He hasn't been fighting for a long time. He hasn't been fighting at the elite level that we're used to seeing him fight at. We know he's not that guy anymore, so there's really no point.
Mm.
I don't know why these guys are doing this. I hope they all have their money, whatnot. They made a lot of money in their career. So I'm talking to him and Floyd now. Because Floyd's just announced he's fighting Gotti.
Mm-hmm.
A fight that ended in a brawl, a fight that ended in a riot. They're like, hey, let's do that again.
Yeah.
Whatever. Talk about circus. Talk about WWE. And so Manny, he's over here, hopefully not chasing pennies. The Ryan Garcia thing, I don't think is going to happen. We were talking about it, and it was like, oh yeah, they could do a fight, or thinking that they were going to do a fight. I don't think the WBC would approve of Manny doing it. I think Manny would listen to them. He's banned right now from boxing. He's suspended from boxing. I think it'd be a bad look if Manny tried to go on basically cross the line, right? Right. It'd be like a union strike and some union members crossing over to go work.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think Manny would probably do that, especially like you said, maybe if he's lined up to fight Barrios holding the WBC title, right? That would probably not make Suleiman a happy man. So I think Ryan was there, trying to gain some likes on Instagram. I don't know, some new followers over there. But
Trying to stay relevant, I guess. Like, don't forget about me, guys.
It's really hard though, because that fight wasn't big in America. So it was almost like he was trying to get into a new money line out there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, what was it in Japan? Where was this at? This
Yeah,
fight?
somewhere over there. Yeah, I don't remember where, but yeah, somewhere over there.
All right. Yeah. So, real weird. He shows up, and then the two guys, they weren't even Manny Pacquiao. It wasn't even Manny. When they blow up in the weigh-ins, yeah, it's like, yeah, I didn't even know that this was a Manny's fight until after that, because it was just two Asian fighters, of course, and the one of the fighters tells the other guy, like, come here, hey, look, Ryan's right there. And the guy walks over there, and he actually engaged Ryan. Ryan at first is like, yeah, Ryan at first is like, dude, what the fuck? I'm not here to do any of this. He probably only wanted to see Manny, right? He wanted to get the face off with Manny going. Then when that guy, I think, flips him off or tells him, then Ryan's like, man, fuck you guys. Then Ryan becomes Ryan, and that's it. He's talking shit. But no, overall, it looked like it was, I'm not going to call it a disaster because I don't know what they did financially. But it wasn't a good look for Pacquiao. You know what I mean? If that was supposed to be some kind of a comeback batting practice, it sounds like he lost the first 2 rounds and did okay in round 3. And that was it. It was only a 3-round fight.
Oh, what the hell? Damn, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that short. Wow.
That's what I heard. Once again, I didn't watch it, but I heard it was 3 rounds and Manny loses probably the first 2. So And it said he had a dad bod. I seen one report
Oh,
said Manny and his dad bod. I was like, oh
well,
man.
I saw a picture of him doing the face off with Ryan after the fight. I mean, he didn't look ripped, obviously, but I don't want to go as far as. I mean, at this point, I think if you're not, six pack rocking year round, you have a dad bod all of a sudden. But no, I don't think he looked like that. I mean, I think that's kind of an exaggeration. He looks soft, sure. It's not like he had a humongous belly and they're like butter bean flopping around. It wasn't that bad. He
What
just
were they
clearly
fighting
didn't
at?
look-
Do you know the weight?
No, no, I don't know. I don't even know
Okay.
weight.
Because I know his opponent was taller. I could
Yeah.
see that. Yeah, that guy was tall, man.
Do you think there's a possibility that they can kind of find a loophole, and I'm saying they, Ryan and Manny, to have, which is pretty much a glorified sparring session, an exhibition fight? It's not going to count on the record. It's not going to be sanctioned by an athletic commission, etc. Do you think there's a way they can kind of squirm through that loophole and maybe get something like that going without, we can't say, oh, Ryan returned to the ring, he's suspended. Like, no, it's just an exhibition fight, nothing special.
That's what I mean by I think they nip it in the butt.
Mhm.
I don't think it happens. They're going to ask Manny not to do anything with the kid until he probably apologizes, takes some classes, maybe a therapist, and then does a suspension, right? Because
Mm.
he has a domestic violence case coming. He broke up the hotel.
Oh yeah, Beverly
And
Hills,
then,
right?
and then the racist remarks. So Suleiman was upset with him on a few things. So that's why I think he's gonna have to at least apologize and do some classes before I think they reinstate him for fighting. But we'll see. Maybe numbers are low and they just bring him right back.
Yeah, exactly. The last second, yeah, cash grab. It's like, oh shit, numbers are too low. Let's go ahead. Yeah. So that was that. I don't think he has any
I've talked to
business.
Ryan. He's a changed man. We're okay.
Yes. He confessed to me. We had a confession. I blessed him, and that's how that works.
Yeah, he's the Pope.
Yeah, all of a sudden, it's boxing. So hopefully that doesn't go down, and I hope that Manny stays. He's never really officially announced his retirement, but I hope he stays there because really against Mario Barrios, I don't think. I mean, again, this could just be Manny out of shape, because he doesn't feel like fucking doing anything. This is just an exhibition fight, and he didn't take it too seriously, and therefore we saw how he looked, or or maybe it is the fact that he did try and he looked like he looked anyway. Either way, I don't want to see Manny get hurt against somebody like Mario Barrios. But he's talked to us before, right? When he knocked down
Keith Thurman,
right? And that was surprising. So
and bro,
huh?
I don't know if Mario Barrios is as good as Keith Thurman back then.
You don't know if Mario's now is as good as how Thurman was back then?
Yeah, back then, yeah. I'm not scared of Barrios.
Well, okay, but we're talking about 2019, I think it was. So 5 years now. Manny's 5 years older now. I mean, that's not reason to at least be a little scared of Mario.
Not for Manny.
No.
I don't know. I know Barrios had. Who did he beat in his last fight?
Ugas, I think it was.
Was it? Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think it was. I think it was. You're right. That was a decent win for him. That was a decent win. But no, not overall. Not. I mean, that's a decent comeback for Pacquiao. I mean, could you imagine if he was to pull that off? I know it's a bullshit title. Like, I get it. But we're talking legacy. We're talking about like when they do the 30-on-30 for Manny, right? They'll be like, in 2019, he came back and beat Thurman, and then in 2024 he came back to win one more title before he finally said no mas. I was like, damn. So yeah, it's an interesting fight because it's only up to Manny, right? Yeah. Manny's Roberto Duran, dude. He's Leonard. These guys get to say when they want to go home. That's just all there is to it. Hopefully it's not 56. At 56, trust me, I'm gonna be saying, Manny, will you please go fucking home? I'm done, dude. Like, right. No, Mike Tyson still should go home. But man, Manny's case, because it's seems like 5 years ago, this would have been an easy grab for Pacquiao. Okay, So I think that's what he's thinking about when he's looking at the Barrios matchup, and that man, does it make him more money than an exhibition? See, we don't really know how good these exhibitions are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't really gotten solid numbers. I can't trust Floyd, right? And Floyd
Right.
seems to do a lot of them, so he's not making 100 million. We know,
No.
right? Because he wouldn't be doing. He's got to be at least be on 4 or 5 now. The guy's got more exhibition fights than he has main fights soon. You gotta
Yeah.
watch out, Floyd. You're gonna be like Roy Jones Jr., right? Couldn't believe how brave Roy got when he was 40. Guy didn't want to do shit when he was 29. And I know he was still special, but you hear me out. There was a lot of fights that he didn't take. You know, Roy used to be like, "Oh, I don't want brain damage. I don't want brain damage." He would just flat out say it. I'm not gonna fight that guy because I don't want brain damage. Then when he turns 40, he's like, "I'll fight the heavyweight champ. I'll come back, gets knocked out." He's like, "Fuck, I don't care if I get knocked out, gets knocked out again. I don't give a shit. I'll fight again." Like, damn, Roy, why don't you have these balls when you're 29, man? But anyways, back to Manny. Yeah, it's a decent fight if they want to do it. I don't think it's pay-per-view. I hope they don't try to push that on pay-per-view. Maybe that Amazon free. That might be a way to open
You
up.
think they'll do that? You think they'll be like, yeah, Manny on free TV?
If Amazon's serious about getting this thing off on a good viewership, I think Manny will bring in the views. You put him on free Amazon. That's sort of like Mike Tyson, right? Like I said, I'm comparing him to Roberto Duran a lot. He's sort of like the Roberto of this era. So yeah, I do think that would be a decent way to start off. Once again, we have no proof that thing's even getting off. They canceled the only fight they announced, right?
Sure.
Didn't they announce the Caleb Plant or some shit like that? Now they've already canceled the fight. So
the funny thing is that they didn't even announce it. They just said, "Hey guys, we were gonna announce this fight, but it already got canceled before the shit." So it basically like got canceled before it even got off the ground. They
yeah,
never actually
so
officially announced it. Fuck.
yeah, so I don't know where they go with it as far as what kind of money he'll make. Maybe because I don't know if Manny's an undercard fighter. Do you see Manny really doing that?
No co-main event. I
Yeah.
don't know about that. Yeah, I doubt it. But that's I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it would be a good idea to put Manny on one of those free Amazon cards. I'm not entirely sure if Amazon is willing to kind of well, what's the word? Like miss on the opportunity of potentially making money with some sort of pay-per-view with Manny on there. I don't know if they're willing to do that. I'm not sure. I think there's like, all right, we got this old man who might give it one last crack. We're gonna make people pay to watch this. I think that's the direction Amazon will go. But I wouldn't mind seeing it because what was it? Was it when Manny fought Jeff Horn? That was free on ESPN, right? Or ESPN Plus or something like that, like just
Yes.
super
Yeah.
early. So it has been done. It's
And it
not out
did
of the realm of
millions.
possibility, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So maybe, but I'm saying like if it's free, millions might very well tune in to watch it on Amazon Prime. But then it's kind of like when you put a bet or you don't bet on something and the guy ends up winning. You're like, fuck, I should have put whatever. I maybe Amazon is like they put him on a free card, hella people watch, and they're like, shit, we knew we should have put it on fucking pay-per-view or something like that, I don't know. It just seems like Amazon isn't, I don't think that they're willing to put him for free, knowing that people might potentially could pay to watch him fight Barrios or whatever.
Well, with Miguel, they're
Yes.
not going to know what their numbers are going to look like until they do one. We already
Yeah.
seen them put
Yeah.
the face of boxing on Amazon Prime pay-per-view, and it didn't do that great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So if Manny can do freaking 10 million homes at 44 or 45, however old he is, and our face of the sport, even Gervonta, both of them are on the same on the same platform. They couldn't even bring in, say, 1.5 million combined. And I'm being very generous with that. Then you might want to look at streaming because you could still pay for some of the advertising on the streaming, right? Throw in a commercial here or there, get a 1-minute commercial at least, right? You
Yeah,
get
they'll
12.
advertise the subscription. Be like, pay now, you get some sort of deal on the yearly subscription base or some shit.
Yeah, and then you get 12 breaks,
Mhm.
right? You
Oh
get
yeah.
before the fight, so they'll cut out maybe 5 minutes of the 30-minute time frame before the fight where they're talking about the main event, yada yada yada, throwing some commercials there. So you got like 17 slots to make some money in.
Mhm.
So that might be the way to go with the streaming. This is why the Mike Tyson thing was so big, in my opinion. That's why I was interested in seeing what Netflix was going to do with
Mhm.
that Paul Tyson. I mean, what if Tyson pulled the same number he did with Fox? Say it's half. Say it's 20 million homes. That changes the whole ball game. We've never had 20 million homes. Not
Mhm.
even on ESPN too, but Showtime and HBO, we never had that many houses tuning in. So the potential for um to me is greater right now in streaming. The streaming seems to be the way everyone's going. We just need to see if it works for boxing, and I can tell you, I think it is. As long as you put on the right fights, it'll work. And if Amazon did become HBO, where they did do a HBO After Dark, and what were some of the other ones?
Just regular
H
HBO championship.
HBO, yeah, there you go. I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
championship
yeah,
boxing. Yeah, just the regular
Championship
one.
Boxing, yeah. Um, People would tune in. I would stream. You see, I've started streaming at the casino. I'm streaming on the road while I'm driving. I mean, my wife's driving.
Right. I got the Bluetooth going.
But you know what I mean? It's the
Yeah.
new thing. Um, So yeah, interesting to see if Amazon is going to do that. I know they started off with just pay-per-view, but I'm hoping they give Al Heyman at least one crack at how many butts they could put in the seats at home if they give him a free main fight.
I that's kind of my concern. That I mean, because like a few seconds ago you said we have to see whether or not this streaming works for boxing, right? If they put the right fights. Well, we saw what Al Heyman didn't do with the right fights on fucking Fox or whatever, ABC or whatever it was when PBC first came out, when they had like free fights. And we got that. I mean, granted, there were a couple of good ones, right? We got Abner Maras and Santa Cruz, and there were entertaining fights. But beyond that, it's like, well, I don't know. It just the fact that we're getting this possibility of free fights on, whether it be Netflix with Tyson and Paul, or Amazon Prime over here in the hands of Al Heyman. We kind of already seen what happened. That's concerning.
The only
Hopefully,
thing
he's
the,
learned.
the only thing I think Al did wrong when he first got to PBC was he put it on too many stations. One of the biggest complaints I got from boxing diehards, casuals, whoever, dude, why is boxing like on every channel now? Now I have to go to, dude, they had fights on BET at one point.
Oh,
They
they
literally
did.
had
I think they
fights
had
on,
like Wilder on beat.
yeah.
Oh fuck!
And these were in the same day. You might have one on Fox, one on BET later on that night, then go to Showtime the next day. It's like, what the heck's going on? Like before
Well,
it was,
they're all affiliates, right? I think that's what they were
they
trying to
were
do,
all
is just
PBC.
like spread them out.
But
Uh,
he started buying all of his time. Remember when he had that 700 million, he wasn't signing contracts to get paid to fight. He was signing to pay so
mm,
then he could get his fighters on TV. There was a big difference there. Everyone act like, "Oh yeah, look, he's taking over the game." No, he's not. He paid all those networks, got his fighters on in hopes that they would turn into Floyd Mayweather's, right? You get a few guys that are going to make $20 million paydays every time they touch the ring. Doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. But that's how that went. And I think that's where he went wrong, is he overreached. He should have maybe done the rest in peace to our friend, but the WWE thing, made a PBC website, just streamed them from the
mm,
very beginning, right?
mm,
That's what Lee kept saying, right? He
yeah.
had the money, you know, or do what Top Rank does, go with the big affiliate, ESPN, one of the big boys, lock it down, not. We know BET wasn't going to be involved with boxing long. What are you doing there? You know what I'm saying? Even on Fox, Fox Sports or whatever, you know, ESPN was bigger than them. It's always been bigger. It's always going to be bigger, you know? So I think that's where he overreached when he first had his money. This Amazon thing is a different, this is a different, situation. It's a different This already has the homes. They just need to put on the TV a fight that everyone goes, oh shit, Tank is. And I know it won't be Tank because he makes too much money, but I'm just saying, you know, Tank's gonna be on Saturday night for free on Amazon. See how many people we can get, right? And that might change everything. It might be like, fuck pay-per-view, dude. We got 10 million fucking homes watched the other night for when it was on for free, even though we were getting paid through the advertising and the subscriptions.
And subscriptions, yeah. Wow. Well, I mean, yeah, that could. I mean, with Amazon, there aren't any other places to. Because I mean, I know that's one of the reasons why PBC was with Showtime, because they had Fox and they had BT or however many other fucking channels, and that did kind of suck, having to like pull up the undercard bouts on like FS1 or something like that. That did kind of suck. Well, maybe that will be a little bit different than with them having only one avenue, being just regular Amazon or Amazon Prime, and they can just have all the fights hosted there, the free ones at least. Hopefully, and well, here's the thing. This is kind of again going back to the same conversation of picking the right fights. Which is the first fight that we're gonna go with? Caleb Plant. It just got canceled, so they didn't pull the trigger on that. Something happened, right? So, but that's the direction they're going. So I don't know. Is that already a bad omen? Saying like we're gonna get a free fights, okay, but the first one is gonna be Caleb Plant. Yeah, I guess people know him to some degree. So, I mean, hell, I was this weekend. I went to Utah to go see my buddy. We were watching the UFC fights online, and then he knows who Kalen Plant is. It's like he's not a boxing fan. He's not really a fight fan. He just likes to watch fights. And he's like, who's this guy? And I was like, I don't know, just watch, and he gets entertained. But he knows who Caleb Plant is. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Caleb is just a lot more popular than I realized, and that's one of the reasons why they were going to go with a free fight with him.
Right.
Well, we'll look forward to that. Hopefully Manny does his thing and everything is okay. One of the next topics that I wanted to touch on was just briefly this teaser of a Instagram post that Andre Ward put last week, talking about him wanting all the smoke and posting a specific date on his Instagram, and then turns out
the comeback.
The comeback to broadcasting, because there's
Canelo
into the ring. No, not even close. The comeback that we think we were hoping for isn't going to happen. Well, I don't say hoping for, because we weren't exactly hoping for it. But point is, he's going to be working with All the Smoke, some podcast / show / I don't know, variety show. I don't know how you'd call it, but apparently, it's called
two basketball guys, right?
Smoke. Is that what it is? I don't know.
Aren't they two? I think they're two ex-basketball. I know they are. They're two ex-basketball players, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
And for some reason, these guys do a lot with boxing. I have no idea why I think basketball was just too much. They were like, dude, we have enough guys commentating on basketball. You guys want to do boxing? They're like, we need a job, so fuck it. Yeah, I guess. How else do two ex-NBA players get involved in boxing?
Yeah. No, that's exactly, because I mean, I don't know who they are, because I haven't watched basketball for fucking decades at this point. So I don't know who they are.
Is his name Pat Barnes? And Steven Jackson, I think. Let me look up All the Smoke. All the Smoke. So what did you hear?
That he joined the team. He joined. Let me see here.
Yeah, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson, both NBA players, bro.
It's fucking weird. This is what I'm gonna pull up right here. Right, this is what it says. All the Smoke Productions signs Andre Ward as Chief Content Officer for new combat sports vertical. So apparently, there's gonna be a combat sports branch, and Andre Ward is going to be the official Chief Content Officer. Whatever the fuck that means, but I guess he's, and I've seen some clips of him already, having Terrence Crawford as one of his guests, and he's basically asking him all his questions, yada yada. it just looks like a fucking podcast. Honestly, that's what it looks for. It's a program. It's a show. I get it, right? It's just yet another show, another content creator type of show. We all thought, he kind of teased us a little bit with his date announcement, and we thought, oh shit, he's gonna announce his comeback. Holy hell! No. No, and now looking back because of that Instagram post that he put, that he says, "Oh, Andre Ward wants all the smoke." Now we get what he's talking about, because that's the name of the damn show. So we probably should have guessed, but yeah, that was kind of I don't know, a dick tease, right? We were like, oh shit, he's coming back. He's coming back. No, he's not really coming back. But anyway, I just
And it looks like they do all sports and entertainment. They
yeah,
do,
but I think he's gonna be specifically for combat sports. That's the way it seems, at least. Ward is. So it's gonna be like
nice.
like a combat sports branch, and he's gonna do that specifically. That's what it seems, though. Seems like, because I don't know what the fuck this all the smoke is. Because I mean, I guess it makes sense now that they cover a bunch of other sports that I didn't fucking know. But yeah.
Hey, do you think Jake Paul? Do you think he was sweating bullets when he was calling him out at first?
No. Well, he wasn't calling him out, right? I think it was Clarissa. Clarissa Shields was like, "Yeah, we should get Ward in there," because I think maybe she fell for the.
Oh, then he said he would never say my name.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And he was like, "Go ahead, fight somebody like Ward." And then the rumor was Ward was going to come back, and then that's when Ward was like, "Nah, dude, he would never fucking say my name."
That would have been more exciting than this announcement.
Yeah, yes, it would be much more exciting than this. Dick tease is the only way I can fucking pronounce it. It's just like, oh, okay, I guess this is not exactly what we're hoping for, but I thought I'd toss that in there because he tricked us. God damn it, he was pulling our leg the whole goddamn time. Thanks a lot, Ward. Now I'm not gonna watch your show. But anyway, so couple of things I want to get into this last weekend's fight that me and Andrew kind of briefly talked about. Now, maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I don't know. This weekend, Joyce took on Derek Chisora on ESPN Plus early in the morning. It was from the UK. I think I forgot what arena it was, but anyway, because it just so happens that there was a UFC this weekend as well that was also in the UK. But nonetheless, we had Joyce against Chisora, and I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just don't know boxing as well as I thought I did. But Chisora ended up coming away with the victory. I was stunned, to say the least. Yes, Chisora did drop Joyce. I get it. But Joyce had Chisora flopping all over the goddamn ring. I was watching it with my buddy, and we were about to switch it over to the UFC. We're like, let's hear the announcement real quick before we switch it over. And then we see that Chisora gets the victory, and I'm like, what the fuck? What? I'm like, am I watching? What fight was I watching? Was I watching the wrong fight? Because I could have sworn, Joyce was just, and mind you, Joyce was taking shots, but people were kind of concerned over his chin recently because of his recent losses. And they were like, okay, and he took all of Chisora's shots. As a matter of fact, Derek dropped Joyce and he got back up. He seemed like he was fine. It wasn't like he was fumbling all over the place. And as a matter of fact, I still think he was winning the majority of that round. But somehow Chisora ended up coming away with the victory. Again, I think maybe I'm tripping because all the on my Instagram feed and my Facebook feed, the announcement of Chisora coming away with the victory, and all the fans saying, "Oh man, Joyce is done," yada yada, and nobody seemed to be protesting the decision. I'm like, was that what the fuck? Like, am I that wrong? I could have sworn Joyce mopped the floor with Chisora. I don't know. Andrew, what did you see?
Mop the floor might be too far, but
he had him stumbling all over the goddamn place. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't disagree with you. I thought Joyce won this fight. Look, we don't have a dog or a horse in this race, sure, right? We didn't do any predictions on this. I was just watching a fight, man, and while they're exchanging, and I also disagree with the whole fight of the year candidate thing. I didn't think it was that great of a fight either. I really didn't.
For that matter, I didn't look like it was that even. Usually, fights of the year are more, even, not so one-sided.
Well, I mean, Miguel, 3 guys had the other dude winning. Look, the only thing I can say on that, he had the crowd behind him, and I'm talking about Chisora, and I really think that helped him get some of these close rounds. For whatever reason, Joyce, when Joyce punched and hit Chisora, hurt Chisora. Dude, he hurt Chisora at least 4 times during this fight. That left hook was a thing of beauty. It's slow. I get it. but the way he throws it, Joe Joyce has a very nice left hook. It was landing. He's not getting the reactions. Chisora, every time he hits Joe Joyce, the whole crowd fucking erupts. And I mean, come on. Joyce, every time he hits him, it's a power shot too. We're not talking jabs here, right? The guy, Chisora, he's right hand and hook crazy. So that helped him. Joe Joyce should have won by stoppage. It's his fault he lost this fight. He doesn't know, he and his corner do not know how to finish a fighter. Chisora was crawling at one point in like the 9th round or 10th. Did anyone see that? He couldn't get off the ground, you guys. Then when he got up, he was like fucking barely walking. This guy was ready to fall. This was a right hand to the gut away from being over. That's all you needed. When a fighter's laying on the ropes, he's got nothing. This should be a big target for any fighter that's looking to stop this fight. Right hand to the stomach. He was done. The 10th round is a joke for Joyce. I don't know how Joyce doesn't get a knockdown in that round. Chisora's finished. He's gassed. He's so slow. He's a poor man, and I'm talking Joyce. He's so slow. Remember I always said he was George Foreman after he came back from retirement?
Yeah.
He's totally that guy, dude, and he's so young, but he's totally that George Foreman. Fucking punches are just slow, but when he hits you, he hurts you, you know?
He looks like he pushes his jab. There's like no snap to it.
The chin is not as good as Foreman. That's what separates the two, right? Foreman could take everything right off the chin, just keep coming. Joyce can't. That's why he got dropped. Yeah, dude. It was very, he does everything right, except he has no defense, no head movement. But his hands.
That was terrible.
Yeah. Oh, dude, there was one point where Chisora is jabbing him, and he's like, man, I can't miss. All right, fuck it. I'm going to just right hand, left hook, right hand. He's not missing anything, bro. The kid is he's eating everything, bro. He's like, dude, move your fucking head. So he does everything. He does combos. He has a good right hand. He throws a jab right hand. He does everything out. Hands are up, protecting his eyes. He just doesn't move his fucking head. You got to have defense, you guys. In this sport, when you hit the elites, you got to have defense. Joe Joyce is now learning that. Now they're asking him to retire. That's what happens when you don't have head movement in the top 10.
What do you think of the scorecard? 96-94. Without the knockdown, would that be a draw? Or would that still be...
No, it'd be a draw.
Two scores like that, and one score 97-92.
Damn. The 97-92 was a bot. That's who's Chisora? No, Chisora's both with Warner on. No, is Chisora one with Eddie Hearn? Derek Chisora with Eddie Hearn on one of those? I know Joyce is Frank Warren. I know he's Warren. But I wonder if Chisora is Eddie Hearn or Warren. I really don't know who promotes him, but that seems kind of weird. That scorecard's off. Because, bro, Joe Joyce is really Frank Warren's guy. So it's not like Frank Warren would set his own dude up to get a scorecard that bad. Maybe that judge was just off, or that judge is playing to the audience, man. Sometimes these guys... They're not seeing the punches, or they don't know what they're watching, and they're like, "Oh, the crowd did cheer, though," Yeah,
and they really were behind Chisora big time. They were like behind that motherfucker. Like he was Rocky, dude. He was Rocky to them. He was just, naturally we do tend to lean towards the underdog anyway, but there's objective reality, objective truth. It's like when I heard the scorecards,
they love him.
Like, they love him. I heard the scorecards. I was like, oh, okay, Joyce got it. Yeah, and then I was like, what the fuck? God damn! Like I did not realize they were gonna go that far. But I don't know. That 97-92 score, a little outrageous.
That's a bad one.
That was a terrible one. The other one's a little closer. I wouldn't even. I would have been okay to some degree with a draw. I would have been okay with that. But I guess the knockdown mattered. That was weird. I mean, it was a fun fight. Sure, it was a brawl.
It was a fun
These guys
fight.
were just throwing haymakers, especially from Chisora. Even though as tired as he was, he would basically be inactive for a minute or two, or for a minute, I should say, and then like load up on some right hands and finish the round strong. I don't know if that's what they saw and thought maybe he was just stealing the rounds, because even in the round where Joyce was dropped, it wasn't like he was hurt. I mean, he was hurt, obviously he fell, but I'm saying it wasn't like he was losing the round. He was doing fine leading up to
Right.
that
No.
knockdown, and then even afterwards, he still was moving forward and moving Chisora back because of how tired he was. And like you said, and then there was a point where Chisora tried to duck, and then he fell to his knees, right? And then he could barely fucking get back up. We're like, how is this guy winning rounds? I don't know what I don't know. And again, it just, maybe I don't know jack shit about boxing, because when I see all these fucking comments, everybody talking about Joyce is done and everything, and I was like, why is nobody talking about, and of course everybody wants Chisora to now retire as well, to go out on a good note, like you put on a performance, the best you can potentially do at this point in your life. You actually got the victory. Right off into the sunset, homie. Maybe there's going to be a rematch. Maybe there's one more major payday for him. They didn't say anything about it at the time. I didn't remember hearing anything about any sort of rematch or anything like that. But maybe if there is one, they can cut a bigger check to Chisora, and win, lose, or draw, maybe then he walks away. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't. I think they're calling it a little too soon if they're saying that Joyce should call it a career as well, because yeah, he got hit, yeah, he got dropped, but I thought he won that fight really, really easily. But apparently I was wrong, because the judges didn't seem to agree with any of that shit. I don't know. But as far as Chisora being, I'm sorry, not Chisora, Joyce being up as one of the elites. Now he was on his way there, right? He was on his way when he beat Danny Dubois, and then he ran into a what's his name, Zhang, the Chinese man. That pretty much broke him. I think when he lost to Zhang, I think that was pretty much it. So we're not going to see the same Joe Joyce anymore. But even though the condition that he was in, I still think he should have beat Chisora.
I
I was
wish he would try an American trainer, Joe Joyce. I'm talking about. If he
well,
was gonna,
he's got I mean, that's not American. He's a Cuban trainer, but he's got Ismael Salas in his corner. I think, right? He's a
I
Cuban.
was thinking more of the Detroit dude.
Mm.
Emmanuel's nephew was it Sugar Hill?
Yeah, Sugar Hill. You're right. You're right. Sugar Hill. Yeah.
Um, some guys that have worked with some heavyweights, because the guy he got a lot of tools. He's got size, he's got power. Looks like he hurts with both hands. Can take a punch. Um, don't want to see him take every punch, but the way he takes
Right.
every punch, he's
Yeah.
got somewhat of a chin. If they could just work with him a little, if he was going to continue in the sport. Chisora, absolutely, this should be his final fight. Listen, Chisora's fought in everyone twice. He doesn't need to go. He doesn't need to go a third time with anyone. He's taken so much punishment for the sport. He just doesn't need it anymore, man.
Mm.
The bank should be full. All of those fights with all of those champions, even if you're only getting $2 million a fight, $1.5 million a fight, he has a lot of fights with some champions, big time names. Walk away while you can still talk, man, because the way he takes punishment, that fight was brutal that he took. I know the crowd was all cheering. They're literally cheering because the dude kept getting up, or the guy was getting rocked and he was walking through it. There was times where his legs buckled like he slumped, but he wouldn't go down. And then Joe Joyce, for whatever reason, can't land the finishing combo. He just couldn't land the finishing combo. He could hurt him, but him or his fucking trainer could not give him the 2-3 punch combo that he needed to end the fight. Give him the ropes, right hand, left hook, right hand. Get him out of there. Get him the ropes and do body, head. Give him a combo that is gonna take. He couldn't. He just fucking couldn't do it. It was very sad to see that kid go through those last 3 or 4 rounds with Chisora begging him to stop him. I mean, come on, Chisora. Oh, dude.
Chisora's about to go into cardiac arrest in that fucking fight.
Yes, bro. He was so tired. Yeah, and he was getting hurt. It was like, dude, it was almost every other left hook Joe Joyce landed, you could see would rattle him. It was right. He was breaking Chisora. That there's no way he should have went 10 rounds that night. I would put the blame on the trainer. for not being able to get Joyce that victory at the end there. It was there, a body shot. You know, hey, go to the fucking body when he's on the ropes. You know what I mean? When he's all looking half dead, not thinking about his whole gut. Hit him to the gut as hard as you can. You know what I mean? Hit him with the left hook and then go to the body. Like, give him something that can put this man down. Chisora was begging for it. So, Joyce, I would say come to America, try it one more time, and then Chisora has to walk away. Chisora, you're not going to get a better. And me and you we think you lost the fight. I'm telling you right now, Derek, you can't watch this fight with your grandkids. They're gonna be like, Granddaddy, I don't know if he won this. Be like, oh, I know they probably talking a UK accent, not a Southern accent, but whatever. That's my UK accent for the day. But yeah, no, my bad. Sorry,
it's all the same.
Sorry, I know where you're from.
I thought you were going with a Jamaican accent on that one, but
but they're gonna be like, no, I don't know. There's certain fights you can watch with your family, and then there's those fights where you get helped on. Where you're like, yeah, I just won that one. Shut up.
You're gonna be like, kids, I won my last fight. They're like, oh, Dad, let's watch it. No, I just take my word for it. I won. Okay. Just
they didn't record it though.
Yeah. Like it said 97-92, guys. 97-92. Come on, that's a dominant win. Come on, guys.
I don't think you know shit about boxing. Start yelling at him.
Yeah, like you get in the fucking ring, kids.
Yeah.
Shit. You go 10 rounds with Joyce. Well, but anyway, that was kind of funny. I thought that was geez, I hope Joyce continues because I think he's got much more left than Tank, and Chisora probably should call it quits. But he got himself a fucking victory out of nowhere this last weekend. Good for Chisora, I suppose. I hope he can capitalize on it and maybe call it a career at that point. All right. Well, more boxing news. We mentioned it last week that it appears as though Vasily Lomachenko is just not interested in a Gervonta Tank Davis fight right now, and it seems as though that won't be the case, or that will be the case for the rest of 2024. It looks like he's doesn't really want to come back until 2025, and whether or not the fight happens then is another conversation. But I read online that since Lomachenko isn't an option for Tank right now, one of Tank's representatives said that they're aiming at potentially getting a fight with Shakur Stevenson. That sounds pretty damn good to me. I'm glad, we got two, undefeated, hot Americans about to go at it. I think that would be pretty damn badass if we can get that going. The WBC did order Shakur and Cepeda. I'm sure, maybe, I don't know, Cepeda will get some like step aside money while they have this kind of fight going on with Shakur and Gervonta. Again, this was a representative of Gervonta's. I forgot who the hell it was. One of his trainers, I think it was, who mentioned that they might go after Shakur. I'm looking forward to that. I hope that does actually happen. I would love to see Cepeda in there in the mix, but if he gets a little bit of step aside money to just kind of like, let me just chill back here. I'll be back in the ring. I'll face the winner, or I'll get Shakur afterwards, because it was ordered by the WBC. And of course, Shakur is the one that's holding the WBC title. It sucks for Cepeda, but hopefully they make it worth for him stepping aside. Because damn, if we can get Shakur and Tank, holy hell. And if we can get that before the end of the year, oh my gosh, I'll pay for that. I don't have a problem paying for that one. Hopefully they'll add a little more to the undercard. Generally, they won't if it's going to be a PBC type of card. But regardless, it looks like that's the direction that they're going to go. I'm down with it. Again, I know we talked mad smack about Shakur already.
That's the direction they're saying they want to go. Let's be careful with our words here, because it'll easily be Frank Martin tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, where the fuck did that guy come from?
Yeah. So that seems to be the direction they're going, but we don't know. So what do you think? I mean, I was going to toss you the ball here so you can kind of go at it yourself.
I love the fight. Listen, that's a classic, legendary fight for this era. I mean, both guys are in their prime. Both guys are undefeated. It's a boxer versus puncher. It's the knockout. It's the best knockout puncher in the game versus the best defense in the game. Mm-hmm. Come on. This is almost pound for pound stuff here, Mm-hmm. So it's an excellent fight. Now, with that being said, and before I start shitting on the kid, The man. He's a man now.
The young man.
Gervonta, yeah. There's definitely someone else driving the car. If Gervonta's last two negotiations was Vasily Lomachenko, oh, he doesn't want it, we'll call Shakur. All right, that's not Floyd's blueprint. That's not Floyd's game plan. He ain't in the building, right? Floyd's probably like, man, you're going to lose that fight. Floyd's at home telling everyone that's around him how he's going to lose one of those fights. You watch. That's being said right now because it's not his plan. But I love it. I mean, I love this new Gervonta. Hey, dude, if you want to make $30 million a fight, this is the way you have to go anyways, right?
It's the only way.
He's not the first guy. Right? He's not going to be the first guy that went through what do you call it? A murderous row of opponents in the pay-per-view stars, right? I mean, go look at Oscar De La Hoya's record, right? If you want to see, go look at Manny Pacquiao's record if you want to see guys that took big fight after big fight all on pay-per-view. So this is what we expect from a pay-per-view star, right? So I'm loving everything that they're talking about.
Sure.
With that being said, Frank Martin was his first opponent that he had. Okay, after becoming the face of the sport, the 1.4 million buys that you did with Ryan, you literally come back and lay an egg on your first fight. You still haven't announced your pay-per-view numbers from that one. I have seen no Instagram posts from Gervonta about no check, no buy rate, no nothing from him. So something happened bad in the Frank Martin fight, and you had Benavidez backing you up. That's a double whammy for you. Makes it look like Ryan Garcia might have sold that fight, but that's for another day. So I like where he's going. I love the fight with Stevenson for all the reasons I just said. It really would probably put one of them. One of them would be pushing hard. And I know they got. Do you see they got Gervonta ranked third already? So really, he's already there.
Top pound for pound.
Pound for pound. Oh, yeah, God. One of the guys. Yeah, one of them already have Davis.
Who? Fucking Brian Custer.
I think it was. No, I thought it was BoxRec. I think it's BoxRec that already has him there. So with him beating Stevenson, you might have to bump everyone. And I even love Crawford to death, but Crawford versus Madrimov for this opponent on Saturday, if that's your last opponent for 2024, and you don't fight Canelo for whatever reason, and Tank beats Shakur later on this year, it's going to be a hard argument that Davis would have done it with. He has the power, the knockout power, right? Ratio. Then he has the opponents. He's cleaning up the lightweight division. Did you see that stat where he's taking out like the 5 of the last 7 or so lightweights? Pitbull, Romero, Ryan. Yeah. His resume is starting to build, slowly. Even Ghost, for whatever reason, was top 10 on that ranking. Then you top it with the best defensive fighter in the game, It'd be a hard argument for me to go up against Tank fans that he wouldn't be the pound for pound by the end of the year. So I love everything that they're saying. Let's just see how it plays out. Because for whatever reason, Lomachenko said no, so it couldn't have been that promising. They probably came with the no guaranteed bullshit, and he was like, "Yeah, you know how old I am? Yeah, no." Want that guaranteed money.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's kind of funny. I think we were looking at some highlights or recently, like literally just a few days ago, right? The 27th, we had this other PBC lightweight, Michel Rivera, who was undefeated up until he met Frank Martin. Not that he's going to be the next guy in line, but I suspect that might end up being him.
Is that the Ali kid?
Yeah, the Ali. Like, it looks like Ali. Yeah, that guy.
Yes, kind of a weirdo.
Felix Trinidad, but then he kind of like does have that
And
Ali.
he totally plays it up though. Like he gets
Oh,
the
he does.
Ali haircut. Yeah,
Yeah,
he does it.
trunks
Yeah.
and everything. So he goes in that direction. He's only had one loss, which was against Frank Martin, but that's and he was doing well. When he fought Frank, I was like, oh shit, PBC put these two guys who were undefeated up against each other. I was looking forward to that one, and when I saw Frank Martin won, I was like, oh shit, Frank might become something. Um, if they don't go, and I say they, I'm talking about Tank and his team. If they don't go after Shakur and they get the fight done before the end of the year, um, I kind of expect this is going to be the guy. And this is just me putting on my
I
tinfoil
hope
hat
not.
because
Yeah, I hope not.
we're going to get another one of those, stinkers. He's going to lay another egg. We're going to get one of those kind of fights on for $75 on Amazon Prime pay-per-view. Hopefully they'll put, somebody else. We'll see. I don't know. David Benavidez against somebody else on the undercard as well. I don't know. I suspect that's because I'm right off the bat. I'm thinking, okay, he just fucking fought, right? He's gonna be still active. Michelle Rivera, I'm talking about, and by the end of the year, we're gonna have one more fight. The Tank wants. I don't. I hope that doesn't happen, but we got Loma out of the way. Fine, he's not gonna fight. They're gonna go after Shakur. The WBC did order Shakur and Cepeda, so what if that actually fight does have to happen, and now Tank is left without an opponent? Maybe that's his
If
excuse. Go ahead.
if I'm Shakur Stevenson, I'm a little nervous going in and negotiating without anyone backing me. Who's he supposed to trust in that room? Al Heyman? Leonard Ellerby? Those guys ain't working for him. I don't know if I would even want to enter that room without. I know he'll have his own lawyer, but I'm talking about Bob.
Yeah,
Go
business,
back to yeah.
boxing business people.
And a
Is
lawyer.
well, that's too. That's
He's a lawyer too. You know what I
sure.
mean? Like
Oh,
Bob
that's true.
knew
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Bob knew everything, man. So if I'm Shakur, man, you gotta watch out because we all see you see Leonard say it all the time. We don't miss anything, right? Before they go in negotiations, they already know all the advantages they need to put their guy in the winning percentage, right? Get his um possibility of winning the highest. If that comes from dehydration clauses, if that comes from a catch weight. See, what's real weird about this fight, they don't really have too much of those angles to work with Shakur. Shakur's not growing. He's actually small. He doesn't have to worry about, oh no, I can only gain fucking 10 pounds. He might not even gain 10 overnight. I don't know. I've never seen Shakur as being a weight bully. I've never heard of them saying that about him. So they won't have that angle. What else is it going to be? The size of the gloves, the size of the ring. Like
yeah. It has to be the size of the ring.
he's got to watch out
A
for
smaller
this.
ring.
A smaller ring. Yeah, he's got to watch out for this kind of stuff because this is what. And then I hate it because it is all fair game, right? You are the one signing, but then after the fight, they're like, yeah, hey, he said he couldn't gain 1 pound after midnight. Ha ha ha! Stupid fucks! They're all like making fun of the guy. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, fuck, did you guys even pay attention to what you were signing? It's like, fuck, man. I hate that part of the Mayweathers, right? Like, they freaking. They as soon as they sign the contract, they already tell you you're gonna lose. I know all of your sparring partners. They told me you suck. On the left side, you can't fucking block a shot. I know you're blind, motherfucker. Like, what? He's blind. What?
Yeah. It's like when you're playing checkers with somebody and they move a spot and you're trying to like, are you sure you want to move that spot? Are you sure you want to move that? Like what? Like, oh gosh, yeah. No,
So
that's not good. Could that be one of the reasons why that fight might happen? Because if they can sign a deal right now with
yes,
Shakur and him not having any promotional, backup, it's like, oh, let's get this motherfucker pour,
ding,
deer in
ding,
the
ding.
headlights,
That's
go
right.
after his ass.
Might be financially, right? They
Mhm.
might pull that whole Raleigh Romero, give him the big carrot. Oh yeah, you're gonna make hella money, dude. We just need a sell, knowing damn well none of Tank's fights sell, and Tank gets all the guaranteed money. You're playing on percentage, right?
Mhm.
He's just got to watch everything about this going in with these guys, because nobody in that room is his friend. Nobody.
What if?
Might be the same nationality, but I'm sorry, Shakur, ain't nobody your motherfucking friend in that room. And
Yeah,
I say it because he's the one that brought up racism. And Bob's racist. No,
sure.
Bob would be protecting you. I'm sorry, kid.
You're
He'd be
his investment.
protecting it.
He's gonna,
That's right.
if nothing else, you don't have to like the motherfucker, but he's money. He's got money invested in you. You know he's gonna do what he can to make sure he comes out on the winning end. And if he wins, you win. And we,
Right.
we have a little bit more of an even negotiation process, and you not kind of fall into this stuff because I mean it might be even safer for him to just fucking go with the damn Cepeda fight. Fuck's sake, right? Especially right now.
Miguel,
Uh, uh,
the negotiations, this is what the negotiations are going to be. Hey, Shakur, why don't you come into the office? We'll talk. We're going to work some numbers out. He's going to show up. Steven Espinosa calculator is already going to work the numbers on the paper. They're just going to push it over to him and go, yeah, why don't you just read that over and get back to us? They're not going to talk to him about shit. Maybe he can highlight some stuff and send it back and see if he can have it changed. But overall, that contract is already going to be printed. These guys, they're the ones that we're the A side. We make the moves. If I'm Shakur, that's not negotiating. I'd be like, no, this is where it stops. I'm not just taking his contract and then go read a fucking 400-page fucking contract that you wrote up. I sign with Top Rank, and then I say, now let's talk, and I watch how fast they pull out of negotiations, bro.
Yeah, that. Well, I mean, I know it's a different scenario because we're talking about Lomachenko and him still being with Top Rank. So, what in the example of or the scenario of Tank and Lomachenko, chances are it was a low ball offer. Is that what you think it was?
Yes,
And he's
low
like, "Fuck,
ball,
I'm out here." Oh,
low ball, no guarantee. Where Bob Arum was like, look, give me some time and I'll get you a guaranteed offer for Shakur, right? He might have gave him, let Shakur get this fight. Then after that, I'll give you $3 million guaranteed. He's like, well, you know what? That'll be my walking paper money, right? $3 million. Where all Tank was offering is percentages. And Tank is demanding what, 30 million now? He's falling into that. He's falling into that Canelo trap where your opponent's like, dude, if you're supposed to make 30 million, what's really left for me? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the potential of pay-per-view points. Okay, buddy. Like, you did 198,000 last time, buddy. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
You have way more potential of making money with a champion like Shakur on pay-per-view. Both of you guys doing good numbers, better than what it was expected, and your percentages will be higher than if you go with Tank. Your numbers aren't shit because his numbers haven't been shit since Ryan, and they owe him 30 million out the gate.
Yeah, wouldn't that be some shit if Shakur goes into negotiations and says, "Let me see your numbers. Let me see the pay-per-view numbers." What are they gonna do? Really, like 150,000 pay-per-view buys?
I think that's where Leonard starts with his bullshit. We're the A side. You don't tell us what to do. This is your fucking contract. If you want to sign it, sign it. And then it's up to you as a fight. Ryan signed it, right? Even though Oscar and them were like, "Don't fucking do it," he signed it anyways. So that's where they got him. His ego. They let his ego get to him. I'm a little nervous on Shakur that these talks came up pretty fast on the Loma thing, and then jumped right to him that they were doing that for that reason because he had no one backing him right now.
Man, sneaky bastards.
Yeah, it's a dirty game. It's a dirty business.
It is. Because really from the outside, you as a fan are like, oh, what, Shakur and fucking Tank? Damn, I'll pay for that. That's a good pay-per-view fight. It's a good way to end the second. We're going to have, Canelo, the other face of the boxing, in the ring before the end of the year, but against, fucking Berlanga, which we'll get to shortly. And then, like I'm talking about like big fights for the second half of the year. Canelo's back in the ring. Terrence Crawford's back in the ring. But if we get Shakur and Tank, damn, that would be a badass way to end, the last half of the year or whatever. But really, the more you dig into it, you're like, hold on, Shakur isn't with Top Rank anymore. Like, oh fuck, maybe it's not a good idea for him to do that. It sucks for us fans because we might get asked out of a perfectly good fight, of a fantastic fight, frankly. But I mean, hell, don't do it, Shakur. Shakur, if you're watching this, please don't do it. Go first. Have some backup. By all means, re-sign with Top Rank.
Some
and then
lawyers.
Exactly.
You need some sports lawyers.
Yeah, some guys know what the fuck they're doing, and none of this, because I mean, we know they're gonna get a smaller ring, so he doesn't move around as much. They're probably gonna get some sort of referee who's kind of favorable towards it was his name, a Tank, and maybe be a little bit stern on the warnings of moving around or holding and stuff like that for Shakur. We know those guys know how to do that stuff, right?
And that's where you need Bob. And see,
yes,
that's where you need back to a boxing guy, not just a lawyer. Yeah, because you need someone who knows those refs that can say, no, fucker, you're not getting the guy that it will only allow you to hold, or you know what I'm saying, or won't give a shit if you're holding. Yeah, so you're absolutely right on that.
You won't get no fucking Harvey Dock or some shit, or Kenny Bayless. I know he's retired, but one of those guys is like a kind of guy who has that reputation of being a PBC ref.
Yep. Yep.
All
Joe
right, well,
Cortez.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like sometimes we don't realize, like we watch so much boxing that we start to know these like referees. We start to recognize these judges. He was ringside for one of the fights recently. My dad's like, "Is that the referee, second racer?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, it is him." Because just I think he's recently inducted, or maybe maybe not recently, but he's a Hall of Famer, right? Hall of Fame ref, and he was ringside for some fight. And my dad recognized him. He's like, "Oh, that's the fucking ref." Like, yeah, Dad, that's how much boxing we watch now because we recognize these fucking referees now. All right, moving on. What is the next one? Okay, so we talked about it just a few moments ago. The recent announcement of Canelo's return to the ring, set for September 14th, if I'm not mistaken. If I don't have a calendar here in front of me, I believe it is Saturday, September 14th, at the T-Mobile Arena. Who won the Canelo Sweepstakes? None other than Edgar Berlanga. I figured that was the direction that we're going to go. Of course, they're going to try to push this Mexico versus Puerto Rico rivalry that is very, very deep in the sport of professional boxing. And that's the direction they're going to go. Undefeated, Edgar Berlanga. Kind of a side story here. The IBF decided to strip Canelo of his championship for whatever the fuck reason. I forgot what it was. Didn't want to fight a mandatory. I forgot what the reasons. Usually that's the reason why they strip fighters. So technically, he's not the undisputed super middleweight champion anymore, although we know he is the number one guy in the weight class regardless. To be quite honest, as soon as guys win the belts, I think they should just fucking drop them. Just drop them. It's like I already collected all of them. Everybody knows I'm the number one guy in the weight class. Just here's, kiss. You miss me with that fucking sanctioning fee, guys. Take your damn belt back. I don't give a rat's ass. I've already bought it. I already won it. I didn't lose it in the ring. So we all know that he's still the man regardless, but that's kind of a little side note there that apparently the IBF have officially stripped Canelo of that super middleweight championship. But regardless, he will be returning to the ring September 14th, which just so happens to be also the same night that the UFC will be having a pay-per-view at the Sphere. If I remember correctly, the main event for that UFC card was supposed to be Alexa Grasso, who is a Mexican champion, taking on Valentina Shevchenko in their third fight. That was supposed to be the main event. It is Mexican Independence Day weekend. They're going to have it here in Vegas at the Sphere. We have a Mexican champion. Apparently that changed. Now we have, the fight's still on the card, but now it's co-main event. We have Sean O'Malley defending his title. I'm so bad with names, I can't pronounce his opponent's name, but we all know who Sean O'Malley is fighting. But my point is, shortly after the announcement of Canelo Berlanga, we have ourselves a main event shuffle in the UFC card. Let's just go ahead and get started with the talks of, first and foremost, the announcement of the fight. Andrew, what do you think about this? Edgar Berlanga, we knew he was, in the running for the championship fight here, so it wasn't a surprise that they announced him. But what are your thoughts on that?
Premature is the first word that comes to my mind. I was going to try to compare it to Canelo taking on Floyd, but it's not there.
No.
It's not there. Canelo had already won titles. He had already beaten Mosley, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, so he had a legend on his record already.
He was already doing pay-per-views, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So it's not. It's. We are hoping this one has that Mexican Puerto Rican side to it, right? And it's going to attract the eyeballs to this.
Well, that's clearly the direction they're trying to. That's where they're trying to cater to.
Yeah. Mm. I like the fight. I think Berlanga has lost a little bit of his momentum, though. He's not as big as he was 2 years ago. He's not as big as he was before the bite, people. Mm-hmm. You see, where Berlanga was before he bit his opponent, the diehards are watching, right? These are diehard Puerto Rican American fans. I guess aren't they all Puerto Rican Americans? But whatever. Then the Islanders, and the Puerto Rican Americans.
Well, it's technically U.S. territory, but
I know,
it's
but
still
it's
its own
still Puerto
country,
Rico.
right?
I know,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
they have an American flag over their post office, bro. Like I don't, it's fucking weird. It's just weird. I don't like to disrespect them and not call them Americans when they, some of them like that. You know what I mean? So it's really hard to classify what it is, but you guys understand what I'm saying. The Puerto Ricans that live in America and the Puerto Ricans that live on the island,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Or that were born on the island and they were
That were
born in
born on
America.
the island. So they're hoping that this fight will attract that. And to be honest with you, Puerto Rico hasn't had a champion in a while. Miguel Cotto has been gone for a while. They really had no one replace him. Berlanga was supposed to be that guy. Berlanga is only being watched by the diehard fans. And then he bites an opponent that was supposed to be a showcase. He bit him. I think he loses a lot of the diehards at that point. I mean, Miguel, when you're fucking biting the fucking bar guy, the bar bouncer, what are you gonna do with Canelo when he's fucking his head movement? He's fainting. He's making you flinch, right?
Mm-hmm. And he's been dropped. Don't forget, Berlanga has been dropped himself against guys who are, it was obvious that they were upping the competition for him as he was progressing his career, and then he gets dropped by this fucking journeyman. Yeah, he's gonna have to, fucking, I don't know. It's gonna have to be dirty, right? Because how else? I mean, low blows, shoulder shots, fucking headbutts.
Yeah, so it's a fight. It's a fight that I don't know. I don't know how many it's gonna generate. I do like the undercard, and I'm not trying to get off the main event, but I do like how they put Danny Garcia. Yeah, they put Danny on the undercard. That's a lot of Puerto Ricans in New York, man. They know Berlanga. Berlanga was hot. They know him, right? Maybe you throw some money on Berlanga and Danny just to make it a Puerto Rican day, right? Now you're invested in it. Now you got money on the two underdogs or the two fighter Puerto Rican guys. I'm a little nervous if I'm the UFC. I'm just a little bit nervous. So I like where they're going marketing wise. They're going to get the views. I think a lot of the diehard boxing fans will tune in for these two fights. Lara being another respected Latin fighter, Cuban fighter. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in him and Danny. So back to the main event. What's that mean when the bell actually rings? Nothing, because if tickets are already sold, the pay-per-view's already bought. Who cares? Berlanga's probably going to get wiped out, okay? But it's what happens leading up to the fight. The kid's got to wear the right glasses. He's got to bring the jewelry out, maybe push Canelo, do a Caleb plant, you ain't shit, the weigh-ins kind of deal. He's got to take the bad guy role in this.
Oh,
he's
and I think he's okay with that. It seems like he's the kind of guy.
He's definitely all right.
He's not going to be no fucking super docile, tame, monkey.
I want to respect. I respect everything that Canelo's done. Please don't start.
Let me shake your cock, please.
Yeah. Let me shake your cock. That's a big cock, bro. Damn.
Like, please.
He thinks highly of Canelo, you guys. Damn it.
Canelo's got some big old balls. He's got the dick and the balls in one handshake. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, Miguel. So, anyways, fucking he's got to take the bad boy role. If he can sell that ticket, I think the fans will be there to watch it. You got Danny on the undercard, so it's a decent card starting up. One thing I wanted to say about Amazon. They might want to talk to Turkey Ali Sheikh soon, because that's the man that can bring the card that can set their streaming thing off the fucking hinges. If he can put together a card like he's done for this August 3rd one, we'll talk about a little bit, something like that, put his money together with their streaming platform, that could be a game changer for us. It really could, because remember how I keep telling you, as long as they don't have to risk anything, I think they're all open to anything.
Amazon,
and I'm talking Amazon,
okay,
of course, yeah.
Okay.
So if he walks in the room and goes, "Don't worry about the card, I will buy the card. I just want your platform." Boom, man. Could you imagine Pitbull fighting on it? And we said Pitbull, Andy Ruiz,
Yeah.
and Terrence Crawford, all these guys for free one night. It's a lot of room. That's a lot of eyeballs, a lot of different homes in America. Mexican American, Americans, African Americans. There's a lot of different eyeballs getting to tune into this fight. So that's the man that we need to talk to, Amazon. And then we can bump Al Heyman. I'm telling you guys aren't listening to me, but soon Mr. Ali Sheik is bumping people. Soon he's going to be like, you were the middleman. I now talk to the supplier. I don't need you anymore. You've done good.
Yeah. Just take the bag and leave. We did. I mean, this is kind of a side story, of course, but during this last week here, there were some announcements of partnerships between Riyadh Season, right, Mr. His Excellency, and Top Rank, also with Golden Boy. So, do you think there's a possibility that maybe Top Rank and Golden Boy are in His Excellency's ear, being like, "Yeah, fuck that Al Heyman guy. Like, don't go over there. Don't fuck that dude. You know, he's difficult to work with. He'll fucking lose all your money. He doesn't know jack shit about it. Just don't no. Like these are the numbers of Tank and Frank Martin."
Right. I don't know how that conversation is going because he has the platform that could set this thing off. Right now, excuse me, Amazon is ahead of Netflix because Netflix didn't get theirs off, right?
Oh,
Amazon.
Okay, I got you.
With Paul and Tyson. That to me was a game changer. I think Netflix would have been all in with Jake Paul getting more fighters, doing more of these whatever Jake Paul's doing, they would have put more of it on if they would have seen success with the Tyson fight.
Yeah.
So Amazon has a potential of gaining the lead on Netflix with that. So yeah, what was the question? What did you just ask me?
Oh, if Top Rank and Golden Boy
stop.
are like kind of like somehow keep him from like, hey dude, don't go over there with Amazon. Like, yeah, they have the platform, but look how fuck they dropped the ball.
Oscar's petty like that, not Bob. Remember what Eddie Hearn always told us about Bob Arum? You can burn his house down, and he'll make a fight with you that same day later on. as long as he's gonna make money, he'll make a fight with you. So that's Eddie Hearn's definition of Bob Arum as a businessman. I think he will work with Al Heyman and the Amazon platform, especially because I think that's all Al Heyman has to offer to the table right now is that platform.
The distribution, yeah.
Yeah, he don't really have anything else, so he's kind of playing behind the ball anyways. So we will see how it goes, but yeah, that's the guy that can change all of this for us with the streaming is Excellency. Yep, because he has the money and the drive.
Oh yeah, the motivation, right? We briefly talked about how we suspect Berlanga is going to do against Canelo. That's going to be another story. When the bell rings is going to be a different thing. Of course, the lead up to it is where he's going to have to, play up that bad guy role, right? He's going to have to do it, and I'm sure he will. I mean, shit, he's gonna. I don't know. Maybe he should take a what is it? A page out of Bernard Hopkins' book and like grab the fucking little, the little Mexican flag and throw it on the ground or some shit, right?
Yes.
Go that direction. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's going to definitely make things spicier. So we kind of briefly talked about that. Co-main event, Erislandy Lara taking on Danny Garcia. Okay, I think these guys were supposed to fight before Lara fought Zarafa. I think that they were supposed to fight, and for whatever reason, it didn't happen. Now we're getting the fight. Not a bad fight. How do you see that one going? We are talking about Lara that's 40 now, and Danny Garcia, who's been out of the ring for over a year now. I'm not sure specifically how much offhand, but how do you see that one going?
I probably would have had Lara the favorite. He probably always would have been my favorite. Just a superior boxer. Danny's a good boxer. Relied a little bit more on power and opposition for his career to move forward, where Lara was kind of put in the back burner, right? Went 12 rounds with Canelo and doesn't get another shot. So I think Lara should be the favorite, especially because he's been more active than Danny recently.
Yeah,
right?
I just pulled it up. July 30th, 2022. So over 2 years that Danny's been out of the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going off name with Garcia on this one. This is for a guy throwing a barbecue, right? You got.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's two known names. Danny and Berlanga are two known names for everyone out there in New York or wherever
Mhm.
the Puerto Rican Americans are going to be watching this. So or the Puerto Rican fight fans. I don't even know how I'm supposed to say it. So, yeah, but I have Laura as the
Mm.
favorite. Yes.
Do you anticipate him stopping Danny? Do you think he has? Because I mean, mind you, he did. Out of nowhere now, and we talked about it. Me and my pops, as a matter of fact, talked about how much more willing to exchange Laura is. Most likely because he doesn't have the same legs anymore at the age of fucking 40. He can't be running around as much as he used to, and he kind of has no choice but to plant his feet and exchange, making the fights ultimately more exciting. His fight with
Yeah.
Jared Hurd was fun as hell. So, do you anticipate him doing the same thing? Maybe planting his feet and maybe stopping Danny?
Yeah, for all the reasons you just said, it really is his age. He has to almost s- plant his feet a lot more. He's knocked out a few guys in this latest run, but there are a lot of bottom feeders, right? They're not, and
Sure.
when I call them bottom feeders, they're just not A-list opponents. So I don't know if his power is there because he's sitting down more on his punches, or is his
Mhm.
power there because of the opposition they have in front of him? And now when you put Danny in there, Danny might, take his punches a lot better.
Mhm.
Um, so we'll see on that, but definitely an interesting fight though, because if Danny wins, it's a big moment for Garcia. He'll probably get the Terrence Crawford fight, right? If Crawford doesn't get with Canelo, because he doesn't Lara
Yeah,
have a
really.
doesn't he have a junior middleweight belt, or is it a middleweight
It's a
belt?
middleweight belt. Oh, it is a middleweight belt. You're right.
Middleweight, yeah.
If because there was, I mean, remember how there was talks about Crawford potentially fighting Chris, no, who was it, was it Chris Eubank? No,
Eubank, yeah,
was it
Eubank.
him? Because like I think they were talking about fighting at 160, not even 168 there. So that was, we thought that was going to be the next step that he was going to go after he defeats Madrimov. That's not set in stone, and we'll talk about that a little later on. But should he go that route and then boom, the next one move up to 160, and we thought that was the direction he was going to go with potentially Eubank or something. But wow, that's not bad. If let's say for the sake of argument that Danny Garcia comes away with the victory, and that is a middleweight 160, and if Crawford comes away with, most likely will, with his undefeated record, and then move up to 160, and then he's got one more weight class to go before he can fight Canelo. Um, wow, yeah, that's definitely one way of looking at it, huh? Because as a matter of fact, did they what do they do it with? I was trying to connect two fight cards, but no, I think I'm again confused. But anyway, yeah, that's not bad. That might be the direction that they're going. I mean, keep in mind that Danny Garcia, besides being out for as long as he has, this is his first fight at middleweight, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's fought a middleweight yet. I think his last fights were at 154, and then that was it. So this is basically his first shot at middleweight. On top of being off for 2 years, I
We
don't know how
know
that's gonna happen.
we know who it's not gonna be anytime soon. I got some breaking news for you that I just remembered that I know you
Oh,
didn't remember.
okay. Please do so. Toss that in.
Spence, you see him back out of the Fundura fight?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Fucking crazy, bro. So is he done?
You know what? You know who said it? And I mean, I don't know what they called it. I don't know if that's the first time I heard it. But Rick Glazer said it. He said, and we've said it more here as well. Like it wasn't just the fact that he lost to Terrence, is the ass whooping that he received during that in that fight. So we didn't think it was going to be that to that extent, right? But Rick Glazer was like, he's fucking done, and he's been saying that for years. Like it wasn't just a loss. He was basically echoing what we've said. It wasn't just a loss against Crawford. It was the ass whooping that he took. He's shot. That's it. He's done. And then boom, this happens. And then Rick Laser comes out saying like, "What the fuck did I tell you guys? Like the dude
Yeah.
is pretty much done." So yeah, he pulled out of the front door fight. Fuck man, that
He had to have not passed the physical, is what I'm thinking. I bet you they came back and ran some tests on him, and it was like,
mm,
no, you're still, you got a spot in your eye, or your vision. He couldn't see that night. I mean,
mm,
like, to me, he couldn't. That's why they went southpaw the whole night. They fucking they knew something. You know what I mean? I
mm.
don't know. It was just weird, man. To me, I think Spence's eye has never been correct after the accident, and it just is what it is. It's sad, but yeah, for whatever reason, he doesn't pass this one. So Fandura is sitting out there with no opponent, and Zoo is sitting out there with no opponent. or Zoo is fighting. Did Zoo
No,
get
no.
an opponent?
Zoo was supposed to fight against Eric Lubin,
Oh,
and then
but it
Lubin.
didn't.
Yeah, or I don't know what
His
happened. I thought
cut.
it was.
I thought
Oh,
it's Zoo's
was it
cut
his
didn't
cut?
heal.
I thought it was Lubin that bounced up from the fight. I mean, I might have my stories mixed up, but I don't remember. I know that the fight is off. That I do know, but I wasn't sure if it was. That's what it was. It
It
was a
was
cut.
for Zoo and Ortiz. Remember, Zoo is gonna fight Ortiz
Oh,
Saturday
that's right.
night,
That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
and it was the cut. They were like, it doesn't. It just the time frame didn't work. I don't think he could. Yeah, so there was Zoo versus Ortiz.
But
So
but,
yeah,
no, but and then after that, I heard there was supposed to be Zoo and Eric Lubin. Or am I? I'm actually. I'm gonna have to pull it up because I'm almost certain that's what it was because it was after his
the
fight with
Ortiz.
Ortiz was gone. Yeah, let me pull this shit up real quick. But I'm almost positive that was the case. Let me see this fight. Here we go. So I'm gonna pull it up real quick. But Eric Lubin. There we go. All right, let's see what I can find here. Erickson Lubin pulls out of match against Tim Zoo. This is like 5 days ago on YouTube.
Oh,
So let me
nice.
see here. Let me see your plans. Eliminator walks away. Okay, here we go. So Tim Zoo's planned world title eliminator scrapped after U.S. star Lubin walks away. So it says Eric Lubin sensationally walked away from boxing superstar Tim Tszyu. Again, just the Australian title challenger warned days ago. I'm just kind of reading this real quick. Yeah, it doesn't specify the reason. Promoters.
I'll give you the reason. I know.
Right.
Because Fondura doesn't have a dance partner anymore. There's no reason for a title eliminator, right?
Yeah.
Shouldn't Zoo get the immediate rematch now that the path has been cleared? Yeah, that's
well. I mean, I don't know which news came out first, but regardless, if people in the circle in the know that it's going to end up happening, regardless.
They're all
regardless
PBC. They're all PBC.
Yeah, they are PBC. Yeah.
So yes, yeah, Al Heyman was probably like, just hold off, let him try to get the physical. If he passes, then we'll go with these two fights, and you guys will meet later. With him not, with whatever reason, I'm just throwing shit out there that he didn't pass physical, because what other reason would it be? Unless he went to the gym and was like, I can't see. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, maybe that happened, but you would think a doctor fucking told him no. The path is clear. It's Zoo versus Vondura 2. I think should be announced here pretty soon. So
yeah, that would be great if we can do that, because we all wanted the immediate rematch. We didn't want these guys to go in different directions, considering the scrap that they had. But yeah, that's gonna be happening. But anyway, Lubin is out, and Erickson Lubin is out, and Tim Tszyu is left without at least for the time being, left without a dancing partner. But I did see that about fucking Spence. As a matter of fact, I saw him. What was he doing, on vacation with his family or something? Or I forgot what it was. But I kind of saw like a quick clip of Errol Spence with his kids. He had like one of those like vests, like swimming vests or whatever on. So they were out in some tropical place. They were swimming in the water or something like that. I forgot what it was. I saw a clip of that, and I was like, is that Spence? Because he has, like, the braids. I was like, damn, he looks a little different. What the hell's going on here? But apparently, yeah, that's out of the question. But anyway, yeah. So we're to kind of briefly close up on that. Canelo and Berlanga. The undercard of the co-main event is going to be pretty decent. Let's briefly touch on the change of the pay-per-view main event for the UFC card. You mentioned it earlier. Those what was it, $6,000 or what the hell? How much was it? Tickets at the Sphere. It seems like they're just charging it because
and Miguel,
it's the Sphere.
Those were for the side. Those aren't even the middle, bro. Those were on the side.
How are they gonna even do it though? Like it
was $6,000 for the bottom row, because I think that whole thing is gonna show the fight. From what the videos that like Dana White released on what it was supposed to look like, it looks like the whole fucking thing is gonna be one big TV screen, right? So the fight's gonna be on big, and then you can watch, or you can look down to the stage and watch it obviously live. But that's all that it really, to me, that's all that it really showed, was the thing's gonna be, so no one's gonna miss anything, right? It don't matter what seat you're in.
Well, I mean, I think maybe you do because, like, well, I mean, I'm sure they'll fix it. But you ever like buy a movie theater ticket and you're too close to the fucking TV screen and the
Yes.
thing is huge? So it's like, what? Are you sure people aren't gonna miss it? Because they might miss it, bro. If it's
Fucking
that
neck
huge,
hurting 4 hours later.
yeah. Like, are we gonna still? Are the prelims still? Fuck. When is the main event gonna start? Jesus Christ.
He's all just looking at his dick. That's all.
Yeah, pretty much. Just seeing crotches be like, okay, I see it masculine, or I don't know. Oh, good lord. I don't know. I mean, I don't think people are
So
they're gonna have to shrink it a little bit or something.
yeah, you're right on that. You're right on that. I forgot about the whole neck thing because that happened one time at an amateur show. Dude, I went to an amateur show one of the first times. Yeah, it was like a 12-hour, 14-hour fucking event or some shit. I left a hurt sore neck, bro. Like literally because I was doing this from ringside the whole time. Yeah. So you forgot about that part.
You're gonna bring those like travel pillows, just like inflate it, just
Yeah, or yeah, not try to be there for the first match to the last one. I don't know. Um, Anyways, so 6 grand to 3 grand was for the side. I don't even know what the fuck the middle went for. I do not know what he was selling those for. But obviously, ticket sales were not doing good because
oh,
they brought in His Excellency to some reason sponsor this thing.
yeah.
I thought it was sold out. I don't know why it would need to be sponsored again if the tickets were already sold. At that point, isn't it just a profit we're making?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I'm not going to get into the business side of it. It's just what we're just reporting what we're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
So he brings His Excellency in, then he changes the main event. That's got it. That's all those are pointing in the direction that tickets or something was not selling. Now you have a very decent card being announced as far as Latins. And when your UFC was this whole Mexicans going to be one of the biggest Mexican things, Mexicans love their boxing too, and their faces down the street. Tickets are a lot cheaper. Oh, Canelo, you guys would be smart to put tickets even cheaper for this one. You want to really show the UFC who the fuck you are? Give the fight fans tickets they can buy to sell out your thing immediately, and then open up closed circuit all the MGM properties. $50 tickets at all the MGM. Well, the UFC's over there gouging their fans for $6,000 a ticket, $3,000 for the top. You guys, look it up. Look up Ticketmaster. Go Spear UFC tickets. Tell me what you find.
Let's do that.
$3,000 for the fucking top. You could have maybe 15,000 in the casinos watching closed circuit, and another 17,000, 18,000 watching it live. They boxing would be smart to make this fight affordable for all fight fans to show up and go.
Yeah, and then of course we kind of already suspected, right? They switched the main event. The main event was supposed to have been Mexican champion Alexa Grasso defending her flyweight, I think, championship. Then they ended up switching it up. Now it's Sean O'Malley and I can't, it's Merab. I know his first name is Merab.
It's weird that they couldn't. It's weird they couldn't get one Mexican main event guy. Now, you know what I mean? Even leave O'Malley, but the opponent couldn't be fucking Mexican from anywhere? You couldn't. It's like the UFC.
They have them, but I mean, there was.
I know they do.
Any top guys that were worth. This dude is the one that's the closest to being top guy. I pulled up the fucking Ticketmaster, but it's not giving me any.
Miguel,
what's up?
The UFC doesn't work off of rankings, though. The UFC works off of fan favoritism, right?
They try to. They do have rankings. Like they do actually have rankings. And
I know they do. But
when their money calls, they're going that direction. I get it. Yeah.
So I'm saying, who's their Arturo Gatti of the Mexican MMA world, right? Who's their? Yeah. Who's the guy that the Mexicans? Hey, he's the Derek Chisora of this group, right? You put them in, they're gonna fucking show up and why you know what I'm saying, bro? Like It's weird that they totally just went totally away from what this is gonna be the greatest Mexican event ever put on sports game. I would love to get that commercial that Dana White was putting out there in the very beginning and to what this event has turned into. Something went wrong.
Oh my gosh. $2,500, $2,600 for one of the corners. Oh shit! It's like I don't know if you guys can see it on my screen here, but it's like
good.
I don't know if you can see it, but basically that little corner right.
Go up. Yeah. $2,700. Fucking
Look
top.
at that shit.
That's
Oh
insane, bro.
damn!
That's insane.
Wow. Yeah. So
Almost
yeah.
$7,000 for you and your wife to be in the fucking corner. You know,
Mhm.
she probably wouldn't even like you for doing that, right? Because the girl don't want to be there. She would start with the whole seven
Well,
grand.
she wouldn't mind being there if she's in the front fucking row
Oh
where
yeah, in
there's
the
a camera
front,
for
yeah.
her. Not when your ass is out in the nosebleeds, whatever the equivalent nosebleeds is up there in the cold or whatever. She would want that. She'd be like, cool, yeah, you can, you're a baller. Get tickets so we can be front fucking row and people can see my big old fake circus
Damn,
titties on this fucking big screen. You know what I'm saying? But
7 grand.
yeah, that's insane.
Or
But
56 grand. I won't put too
yeah,
much on it. six
nah,
grand.
but still, I mean, and then that's just the tickets. We're
Yeah.
talking about, there's also like fees, Ticketmaster fees, and then parking, and if you're traveling, there's hotel. Dude, I mean, I don't know what the hell they were thinking. They were the UFC expecting people really to fork up. But we saw, Masvidal and fucking Diaz try to sell $5,000 tickets at a much regular arena. And then the way I'm looking at it right now, as far as like the sphere goes, yeah, like you said, it's gonna be like the octagon on the screen on the stage, and then the screen behind them, kind of thing. So there's not even gonna be angles on that side. Well, I guess it will be if there's a camera over there and you can see it on the screen. But as far as like fans, you won't be able to see
No,
it.
it's all one side. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
all one side.
And mind you, boxing has done this too. It's not like it's different. I mean, I've seen it in small theaters, specifically the Nokia Theater in near Staples Center. I've been there myself, as a matter of fact, and I've seen fights where they're on the stage. They put the what is it, the media people on stage sometimes, and then the ring is like right in the center. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, that 2,700. God damn, yeah, that no, never. But and then they switched the main event, of course. I can. Yeah,
And
I
the
guess.
main event was 2 girls. And I gotta bring that up.
Mhm.
How are you expecting men to spend $6,000 to be in the corner to watch 2 women fight? I love women fighters, but they're not making that type of money in
No.
any of the
No.
sports. This would deserve a 30 for 30 if women in the MMA were demanding 6 grand a pop for their tickets.
Yeah.
It'd be the #1 sports story in America right now, especially in America. They would be all over Dana White's nutsack if he had women making 6 grand a fucking ticket. Obviously, it didn't work, and they switched it up. Now it's 2 men, and the ladies aren't even a main event. They couldn't even keep them the main event. They're like, no, we got to change
Yeah.
the whole thing.
And it's funny. Like, I mean, this is kind of a weird, like, old school kind of thing. My dad is super old school. We're watching a fight, a UFC card, and he's like, the women are main eventing? What the fuck? It's that old school machismo type of mentality. Do you think people like that are going to be like, sure, $6,000, swipe the card
Hey, you
to
know
watch?
what?
Uh,
Oh, I guess he's doing it because he's in America. I was like, what about His Excellency? He doesn't like women fighters. Remember that? I wonder when he bought in if he was like, but you take those girls off. Remember
hmm
in Saudi Arabia they had
Right.
they
No
had
ring
no
card
ring
chicks.
card girls and
Yeah.
no women fighters. The whole card was men.
Oh, I don't remember about the women
Yeah,
fighters, but
no,
I do remember the rank card girls, no rank
yes,
card girls.
and
But as
no,
far as
because they can't show their bodies, bro. They
right,
can't
right,
be in
right.
all the.
So,
Motherfuckers be
but I mean, well, okay, that makes sense. I can't get it. But I don't know. But there's gonna be rank card women, period. So I mean,
yes.
does that be one of the what's the word? The compromise?
It has to be because he's in America. So he's like, well, we'll leave that in my country. We can't do it because
Mm,
it's law out there. But over
yeah,
here, maybe he's being a little bit more lenient on the rules. With what is
yeah.
it? Shira law? Sh- how do you say the law the Muslims go under? Shira
Oh, I
law
don't
or
know.
something like?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
have to
something
research.
like that they go under over there. So that's that whole fucking some serious penalties. I don't want to start talking shit, but some serious
Uh,
penalties.
Sharia? Is that it's pronounced?
Yeah,
Is a body of religious laws that form a part of the Islamic tradition based on scriptures of Islam, particularly the Quran and the Hadith. So it's Sharia.
yeah,
Sharia.
Sharia law.
My Sharia.
I thought I was close until you gave me 4 other ways to say it.
I don't know. I'm pretty decent at pronouncing names sometimes, so just funny because I can't remember. I can pronounce it one time pretty good, and then I don't remember how I pronounce it. Because as you've seen on this show, we do tend to fuck up people's names. So I try to think of every way to pronounce it just to make sure the all inclusive. But that's interesting. We have about a month and a half away from both those the UFC card, UFC 306, and then Canelo Berlanga with a pretty solid co-main event there. Lara and Danny Garcia. All right, not bad, not bad. We were kind of like kind of concerned about Canelo's pay-per-view numbers. Let's see if that helps. A
Right.
solid co-main event.
Right.
All right, so that leads us to one of the one of the topics that we want to talk about on this the show here that will kind of like finish off the rest of our show is this weekend's UFC pay-per-view card with Terrence Crawford taking on Israel Madrimov. That's going to be for what is it, the WBO, I think, 154-pound championship.
Yes.
I forget which belt to switch, but they're going to go after that. It's going to be Crawford's debut at 154 pounds, taking on 10-0, I believe, Madrimov. The undercard is gonna be pretty decent, right? We talked about it a few times. Let me pull it back up here because I had it on my phone before. I only have 2 phones, so I kind of have a hard time keeping up with all that stuff. But nonetheless, I am. It's gonna be this weekend, the 3rd of August. We are a few days away. Today is Monday, and then this fight is gonna take place. What was it? Los Angeles, right? If I'm not mistaken, it's gonna be at. I forget the name of that stadium, but it's gonna be pretty big arena / stadium, right? Where it's taking place. We're going to see. This is kind of one of the big splashes that His Excellency wanted to make in the U.S. market. That's kind of the direction that he was going. Let me just pull it up here real quick. I want to take a look at the card. All right. So we got Crawford versus Madrimov as the main event. Co-main event, we have Pitbull Cruz taking on Jose Valenzuela, and I guess the third, I'm gonna call it a co-main event, but Andy Ruiz taking on Jarrell Miller or Gerald Miller. Again, pronunciation, I want to say it's Jarrell. And a special guest performance by none other than Mr. 8 Mile himself, Eminem. I'm not sure what that's needed for. When I first saw that Eminem was in any way, shape, or form involved with the card, I thought he was just going to come out to the ring rapping, with, the way most fighters bring rappers or something like that, right? That's rap to their songs, their entrance music. I thought that was what we're going to see with Crawford, but apparently there's going to be a performance. We've seen it happen a few times. MMA has tried it a few times with, I think it was Megadeth at one time, and then even back in the day, pro wrestling tried it. WCW did Kiss. They did a Kiss concert before a pay-per-view. It has happened before. But apparently, what was it? What was the one that Metallica was on? Was that like some sort of Triller card or something?
Yeah, Triller.
So,
and Your Excellency did this with one of his cards in Saudi. He had a performance.
Right.
Yeah,
that fucking thing that's from the center, right?
And I told you I didn't want to see it again, and there was no need for it. And
clearly, His Excellency heard what you were saying and says,
yeah,
"Let's throw in Eminem." And it's like, hold on, Andrew. If we haven't convinced you, let's try a better act. Okay, how about that? Let's try a better performance. You want to see Eminem? We'll see Eminem. We'll see him, drop from the center of the fucking.
What I don't like about it, Miguel, is they do it right before the main event, and if the main event is hot, nobody gives a flying fuck about a dude singing with the microphone. We're all there to watch fighting. Our money's already been gambled. We're all waiting to cash in our winnings. Like, get on with the fight. For kids, this is their number one fighter, right? This is the guy they pretend to be. Like, we're not giving a shit about singing at this moment. That's what I didn't like about it. I forgot what fight it was too, and it was just like, dude, just bring out the fight already. Maybe it was Joshua. I think it was Joshua. Ngannou. Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah. So he's done this before, and I felt there was no need. I can almost guarantee you, Terrence Crawford is about to walk out. There's no need for Eminem to have a 15-minute song before.
Especially if the co-main event being what it is with Pitbull and Jose Valenzuela, and they put on a fucking barn burner, we're hot. We're hot
Yeah.
for the fucking main event. Let's just get them in there and can keep the fights going. I doubt they need to be cooled off with this, and I don't know. Eminem is who he is, so people are going to get their money's worth, I suppose, right? I mean, people I'm talking about who order the pay-per-view or buy tickets, they're kind of get a mini Eminem concert in the meantime. But like you said, they're kind of not really there for that. If they're already, if the fire is already lit because the co-main event got us there, we want to finish busting the fucking nut with Crawford and Mazurdov, not fucking like, okay, let's calm the fuck down again, and then like there's no need to go in that direction.
Or this one. I hope they don't do a concert and then we have to do 30 minutes of them hyping up the main event again. Because now you just added on minutes to a already big time delay from the code to the main. You get what I'm saying? So I hope they don't, somehow this works out to where when the song's done, they're like, and they just announced the fighter, and the fighter's now walking out as Eminem's walking away. I hope it's like that, not, and back to you guys. Like, now let's watch the build-up show on both of these men.
Yeah. If the co-main event ends early, that's what might end up. They might have to, exactly, to fill in the spot. And with a fight like Valenzuela and Pitbull, it may, those guys are going to throw a bomb, especially Pitbull, and there's a very, very good chance. And hopefully we get, 9-10 rounds out of that fight. And, it'd be cool if it ends in a KO, sure, but I want to see some action. I want to see, 9-10 rounds out of them before we get to the main event. If the fight ends early, I highly suspect that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to try to fucking kill time, get this concert. They're going to be like, Eminem, how many more songs you got? I was going to do 4. Do 6. Okay, cool. Do 6 or whatever. And now we have ourselves this full-on concert, and, we have to wait for, Crawford to finish wrapping up his fucking gloves kind of thing, So, but so we got that fight to look forward to this weekend. Let me just make sure. I always forget the name of this damn stadium. BMO Stadium. I don't know where that's at. Do you know where that's at? I don't know where the fuck it's at. BMO Stadium. Let's see where the shit. Oh, I know it's in Los Angeles, of course, but let me see what we got it. Because when we first pulled it up, remember how we did Google it, right? And we were just like checking it out. Let me see. BMO Stadium, formerly the Bank of California Stadium, is a soccer-specific stadium in the Exposition Park neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. It is the home of Major League Soccer's Los Angeles FC and National Women's Soccer League Angel City FC. So it's relatively new. It says it opened in April of 2018. I mean, it's still nice and relatively new, I should say. And let's see here is the first open air stadium built in the city of Los Angeles and Dodger Stadium in 1962. All right, so it's going to be open air. Hopefully there's no, rain or something like that, because sometimes that does happen. Yes, it is going to be August, I get it, but sometimes rain does happen anyway. So I guess I don't know. We can start with the the 3 fights that are going to be that we're all going to be talking about, right? Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller. What are your thoughts on that one? I mean, I guess since we're talking about the fights, let's just go into predictions, how you anticipate the fight happening, who wins it, how they win it. We can go with these 3 fights to end the show.
It's that's a toss up because both guys have been so inactive. You know what I mean? I want to say Miller's been more active than Andy Ruiz. I believe he has.
I think lately, since
even with a suspension with drugs, he might have more fights than Andy's had. I don't know what the hell happened to Andy Ruiz, man. I know he fought what is it, Areola, right? Didn't Ruiz fight Areola since the Usyk? Was it the Usyk bouts? I guess we're gonna go off of
the Usyk bouts. You mean that,
or Joshua?
Oh,
Joshua. Yeah. When he loses a rematch, yeah.
Yeah, okay. He beats. He fights Areola. He fights and beats Luis Ortiz. Those are the 2 that I can think right off. I can look it up here, but I think those are the 2 that are most recent. I'm just going off of Jarrell Miller. In December of 2023, Miller loses a fight to Daniel Dubois. So December is the last time Miller fought. Let's see where Andy Ruiz is. All right, there we go. All right, so we're looking at September 2022 is when he beat Luis Ortiz. So almost 2 whole years that he's been out. So it looks like Miller has been more active. Funny enough.
It's weird.
Um,
Yeah, because he had a suspension, a steroid suspension for like
yeah,
2 years.
yeah.
It was-
How did they describe it? A cocktail of banned substances in his fucking system. So it wasn't just one. Home dude said like, da 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 da. Let's just shake the bottle, everything. Let's just kill all these fucking supplements.
so
Yeah.
that one I don't know where to put my money on because yeah, then we have the guy coming off of the drugs and we have the other guy coming off of the layoff and we know the other guy likes to eat. So who knows what Andy blew up to those
Yeah.
2 years. Did you see Miller caught him in New York eating the hot chili dogs? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
They're like,
we
I'm gonna
know
knock this motherfucker out. Like,
yeah, he's like he's
do
eating
it. Go
chili
ahead, do it.
he's eating chili dogs a week before the fight. I'm gonna knock his ass out. That's what he said. And you know who else said something about chili dogs was Areola. Areola said he had eaten chili dogs before I think a Klitschko fight. He's like, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, something about the chili dogs. I don't know, man. You're not supposed to have that in your stomach or something. Maybe
Hmm.
fucks you up before the fight. But yeah, so there we go with that one. You know, this is really a bigger moment for Andy Ruiz than it is Miller.
Sure.
Miller's coming back off of the cocktail, plus he's just not as known, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Andy Ruiz, if he can make a splash on this night, can get himself really right back into the heavyweight
Mm-hmm.
contenders list, you know? So it's a big move for Andy here. Um, I'm gonna have Andy as the favorite because he's better technically than Miller. He has
Mm-hmm.
better skills. He's a better hand speed. Um, Miller, I would have said had the power, but that was on steroids. So now we
Mm.
need to see who Big Baby is without the juice. So with that being said, I'll stay with the fat but clean fighter in Andy Ruiz.
All right. All right.
I know. Guzin and Lennox would be like, I don't care how healthy he is. He's a fat pig. They used to be so mean to Andy. They're like, he works out, but he eats a lot more than he works. Like they'd be so mean, cutting him down
Yeah.
right during the fight, man. But I'm gonna stick with Andy. I think Andy will pull it off.
Uh,
Let's see.
they throw his like biggest insecurities on public. It's like he trains, but he has Twinkies in his bed. You know, like, okay, relax, buddy. You ain't gotta go that far, homie. Don't fucking throw him under the bus that bad, okay, guy.
Eat a piece. He eats the cake.
Yeah, he fucking dips his Twinkies in mayonnaise or some shit like that. Something that long.
They
Oh,
were there. Lennox Lewis used to be brutal with that dude, man. I think Lennox was always just mad, right? Like Lennox is probably like, I could knock this guy out right now today. He's too
yeah.
fat. He's so fat, I will knock him out right now.
I'm sure, seeing him beat Joshua, his countryman, be like, fuck, damn it. You gotta get one back for us. Like, I'll whoop his ass. Oh man. So Ruiz is the favorite actually. He's at -350. Miller is at +250. So
Nice.
that's
All
where they
right.
stand right now. All right. So I'm gonna go in that direction as well. Oh, I didn't ask you. Does he stop Miller? Does Ruiz stop Miller or no? They go a distance.
Go the distance because I hear they're friends. Did you see that
Oh,
little interview?
what?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they look like they're longtime friends from the amateurs. So they
Mm,
were doing the whole we're fucking great friends on the outside. When we get in, we'll be fighting for real. No, you won't. You'll be sparring. You're not gonna try to knock out your brother. You know what I mean?
damn it.
So I'm gonna lean towards
Yeah.
12 rounds. PBC way.
Yeah, same stable people. Yeah, that's I'm gonna go in that same direction too. I think Ruiz is gonna take it. And I just figured, what's his name? Miller can take a shot. I'm not sure if Ruiz can stop him, regardless of whether or not they're homies, because that was news presented to me just now. But I think Ruiz gets the decision anyway. But it's gonna be unanimous. It'll be pretty clear. Okay, now the co-main event. Moving on, Pitbull Cruz taking on Jose Valenzuela. Damn, that's gonna be freaking awesome. I'm not sure. I've gone back and forth on that one a couple of times. I'm not really sure how to, if there's anything that has swayed me in one direction or the other. But you tell me, because of course we're gonna go with you first. Who you got? Who wins it and how?
All right, first off, is this fight at 135 or 140? Do you know if they made Pitbull
Hmm.
come back down in weight?
Right offhand, I don't know, But considering that Pitbull has a belt, I'm nearly positive that they made Valenzuela move up to 140. I'm fairly certain. I can pull it up here real quick to see
It
what the
does
case might
say
be.
it does say that the title's on the line. The
Oh,
super lightweight title's on the line.
so
So
it has to be 140
140.
then. Yep.
All
Yep.
right. So that makes it a little not easier, but it makes the even playing field. I wouldn't have liked it if Isaac had to lose 5 pounds to go back and to
Even
fight.
even though he's relatively small, that
Yes,
okay.
you just it's never worked good for anyone else, so why start now? You know what I mean? I would just been a little bit nervous about the drop down in weight, back down in weight. So he'll be strong, but dude, there's a five. What is it? What the hell's his height?
Oh,
He's 5'10" to 5'4". There's a 6-inch height advantage, bro.
damn, he's 5'4". Shit, I didn't realize he was that
Yes,
small. Oh my gosh.
and the other guy's 5'10".
Well, can he use it? Does he know how to use it?
Does he know how to use it? I'm sure, dude. Did you see when they did the face-off? Valenzuela kind of did the whole like, "Are you fucking serious right now?" Yeah.
Yeah, I did see that.
So I mean, he's got to at least know to stay high, right, to keep the height going. Can you give me the odds on this one? Do you have the odds in front of you on this?
It's on. Let's see here. Where are we at? Isaac Cruz at -400, Valenzuela at +300, with a +2000 draw.
So 3-1 for him is 3-1. He has been knocked out before. Edwin de los Santos knocked out Valenzuela.
Yeah.
So his chin might be suspect.
He gets a little sloppy. That fight, he looked sloppy as fuck. That was pissing me off because I was a fan of him. I still am, and I was like, all right. And then he ends up getting dropped, and I'm like, dude, fuck, get your shit on straight. And then he gets finished. Yeah, that fight got a little sloppy. But anyway, yeah.
I like Pitbull. I like Pitbull Cruz. He has the momentum. He's the star in this fight. There is room for upset though. Because of the height and reach advantages. If this young man knows how to box and can stay away from Isaac's really looping punches, right?
Yeah.
He really is. He's not technical at all. You can see his punches coming. It's just a matter of how much he brings. Eventually he gets to you.
Well, I think he loops his punches because of his height. He usually fights bigger dudes anyway, so he has to come around behind the gloves. So he might not be the most technical guy, but I think he knows that much. He knows he has to loop them to reach the guys to be able to swing around the gloves. That's the way it looks, at least, because he did that with Rowley, he did it with everybody. So I guess that will be it. It's just being very vigilant of those looping punches, because that is what he does the best.
I would take him on a straight up bet, but a parlay, I would go for upset. On a parlay bet, I'd go for upset on this one. Yeah. I like the height. I like the power. That's a towering right hand coming down, right? If he can keep landing that on Isaac, that might make him think twice before coming in. So I like straight up bet. I'll take Isaac Cruz, and if I was doing a parlay, I go for upset.
Now, why would you do that? No, just because
just to make my parlay go through the roof.
Okay, gotcha.
The parlay, if you put upsets on your ticket, you'll put $5 to win 10 grand. Shit like that.
Yeah.
But they're all upsets. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, they're all heavy underdogs.
Yes.
Okay, and so all right, we'll go that direction. Let's just go with the straight bet, right? Let's go with Pitbull Cruz. How does he win it?
Knockout.
Yeah, how
that's all I had. Yeah, looping ass right hand comes crashing down. He knocked out one of the brothers. What are those brothers' name? He knocked him out the uppercut. Remember that? That was his fucking.
Oh, the Magdalenos. Yes,
Magdaleno. Yeah, Jesse. Was it Jesse? He knocked out. Diego. All right. Yeah, the older. Yeah. So. Definitely by knockout. I guess, and if they have that as a prop bet, you want to look at that Pitbull Cruz by knockout. Also look at the under on rounds. If they're giving us 9.5, if they're giving 9.5 rounds, I would take the 9.5 rounds with the Pitbull Cruz by knockout. Yeah.
All right. That one is tough for me. I've gone back and forth on it. I want to see Pitbull Cruz continue to progress and be
Right.
a household name. He's on his way there. He's not there yet. So I'm gonna go for Pitbull Cruz on this one. Same thing. When Valenzuela got knocked out, it was relatively early in the fight. I think he caught him kind of cold. I suspect Cruz, the way he comes out like a fucking like a bat out of hell. He comes out like the Tasmanian devil. If he comes doing that and catches Valenzuela early, he's not going to be able to recover. I suspect that he might be able to finish it. We might get Eminem with 3 extra songs on his set because we might get an early stoppage. I
Throw,
suspect that.
can you do that Rap God song? The
Yeah.
7-minute one?
Oh, jeez. Is that how long it is? No shit. Jesus.
Yeah, he's got that rap. I'm a rap god or whatever it's called.
Oh gosh, it's like sing about Candace Owens again. You threw her under the fucking bus. Sing that song. But yeah, I think Pitbull is going to take it, and it's going to be early. I'm going to say under 5 rounds. Actually, I think it's going to take him under 5 rounds. All right. Well, that leads us to our main event.
Man, you have a sports book, dude?
I have a sports book. What do you mean? Well, yeah, I live in Vegas. Of course.
No shit, bro. You need to make those bets, dude.
I've gone back and forth on bets myself because I do that. I usually put it on the underdog, and of course, obviously, the underdog usually loses. But anyway, so we have Israel Madrimov defending his his WBO 154-pound championship.
It's a WBO interim and a WBA title. So I don't know which. Yeah, I think he owns the WBA. Is the one that he knocked out some guy recently for. That's what I seen.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So 2 belts that's at stake, right? One of the other ones, and we're gonna have one to be an interim. This is gonna be Crawford's debut at 154 pounds against a guy with 10 wins, fights total, I should say. This one, I've gone back and forth. I know, Madrimov is not the biggest name. People were like, "Who the fuck is he fighting?" Understandably, this happens, right? This is not some sort of, breaking news thing. It happened when Canelo moved up to 168. He fights somebody like Rocky Fielding. Fighters do this. It's not like it's uncommon. Testing out the waters at 154 pounds, going after somebody who might be considered one of the weaker champions, one of the lesser known champions, and I shouldn't say the word weaker, but I guess one of the less dangerous ones, I suppose. If you watch any highlights of Madrimov, he's got power, right? What did you call him earlier, Andrew? What did you call Madrimov? You described him as something.
Poor man, Triple G.
Perfect. He's a poor man's Triple G. The dude swings for the fences every time. Sometimes he gets a little off balance and basically falls over. I suspect Crawford might be able to see that, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and toss it over to you, Andrew. How do you see this fight going? Who do you think is going to win? How the fight is going to end?
I was trying to think of the opponent that Pernell Whitaker moved up from welterweight to 154. He wins a title. It might even be the WBA too. This might all be the same title too.
Okay.
Julio said, it's Julio Cesar Vasquez or Green. Julio Cesar, Vasquez. Watch, look it up, dude. It's right after he fights Chavez. He goes up just for one fight, wins a title, then goes back to the the welterweight division. Excuse me. It's kind of what.
Oh, go ahead. No, it's a little bit more than that because like when he fights Chavez, you mean? Because afterwards he fights. Wait, hold on. Am I going the wrong? Buddy McGirt? What the fuck? If he fights Buddy McGirt at welterweight?
That should be before. That's the title shot to Chavez. Because Buddy McGirt, if he would have won that fight, would have fought Chavez. Buddy McGirt loses every single time he's in a title eliminator to face Chavez. It's hella sad. It's the only guy that doesn't face Chavez in that era. But then if you look at his record, he's like in 3 title elimination bouts where he never wins them. So that's why he never gets the shot at Chavez. But is there anyone at 154?
There is, yeah. Julio Cesar Vasquez. Yep. It was a WBA belt on top of that.
Super
welterweight, yeah.
Yep. So I remember him doing that, and he goes right back. So nothing. Crawford's not doing anything new here. So the thing with Crawford, he's coming from a little bit smaller than just lightweights, correct? Whitaker was in a bigger frame than Terrence, and that's the only thing that makes me nervous going into this fight with this unknown Magridov. The guy looks like he's got muscle, right? Big puncher, both hands. He punches from both sides. He's sloppy, but he still knows how to land a power shot from both sides. Where if Terrence has never been in the ring with someone like Terrence, because Terrence likes to switch from orthodox to southpaw himself. What if he gets caught? We've seen Terrence get dropped. We've seen him hurt, right? And now you're taking a left hand from in a position you ain't never seen before. There is room for upset here. You also have the Canelo effect, right? Where all he's been talking about this whole time is Canelo. That all the reporters are asking him about is Canelo. So you have that going into this fight. I like Terrence Crawford to win still. But on that funny parlay card that I'm talking about,
Yeah,
you might see Velasquez and Madridov on the same card.
yeah.
$5 to see what I win. What would it get me? Because of all those reasons, it's unknown. The weight, the power.
Oh yeah, the weight, because you see Madrimov, he's fucking ripped. How much heavier is it going to be fight night?
Yeah. Yeah, and then the fact that we've seen Terrence hurt and drop before. I know the Spence fight was great. Spence might have been a lame duck that night, you guys. Just flat out truth. The guy might have had one eye, or at least 50% of one eye. It wasn't.
And the weight, of course, the weight. Still trying to force himself to make 147. That might have played a role as well.
Yeah. So, great fight for Terrence. If he wins, he gets another title, gets another division. I'm all for that. But I would definitely be looking. What are the odds on this? What do they got?
All right. So this one has this. I don't get this. They have two of them. It says fight results, and then in parentheses it says three-way. I don't know what that means. It has Terrence Crawford at -700. We have a draw at +1800, and Madrimov at +500. Directly below that, it just says fight results, and the odds are a little different. Terrence Crawford at -800, and Madrimov at +450. I'm not sure why this is. This is the MGM's Bet MGM app that I downloaded. But anyway, so I mean, we it's a range, right? Anywhere between 450 to 5 +500 for Madrimov, and anywhere between -700 and 800 for Crawford.
It's weird they got it so close. You know that? I know 5-1 doesn't seem close, but for a guy with only 10 fights,
okay.
You know what I mean? Going up against the pound for pound king.
Yeah.
You only got it 5-1. I would think it would be a lot higher, 7-1, 750-1. Hell, I don't know. And then Terrence, they have to have Terrence's number low because he doesn't get a lot of money laid on him. I would have to think if he was like a Floyd Mayweather, he'd be at +1250 or something like that. He's fighting a guy with 10 professional fights, you guys. This is a dude who put on one of the best performances boxing has seen in this generation, right? That was like supposed to be a classic fight, him and Spence, and it was a total wipeout with a knockout. It wasn't just a beatdown. Like he literally knocked his ass all over the ring. Now you're fighting a guy with no experience, and they have you only at +800. There has to be money reasons. Sometimes the casinos will keep the odds low so they'll get more money. 800, there'll be more millionaires or big gamblers willing to drop $1,000 to win some money back than they would if they had to drop 1,200 or 1,500. Then they're like, right? So they keep it at 8. That's the only thing I can think of why this number isn't higher for Terrence Crawford, because on paper, this guy's fought nobody that puts him in the category of Terrence Crawford. He doesn't, we're going off of what? Power of 10 professional fights? He comes off his feet, you guys. Like, he does one of the most basic fucking flaws that they teach you in amateur boxing is never to come off your feet. This guy does it all the time. He's like somewhat like Prince Nassid in some of his highlights. You know what I mean? Like, and we all seen what a technically sound Barrera did to that fucking thing,
Mhm.
right? Come
Yeah,
off your
and
feet,
others,
jab.
even though, like, Kevin Kelly, even though he ended up losing, the way he dropped, Nassim a
Nassim.
hell of times, it's like that's what happens. But when you have a guy who's more technically sound, yeah, granted, Kelly ultimately went down, but it's like he still was able to tag him. It was almost a blueprint.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So
So Crawford by how?
I got Crawford. I'm gonna say he stops him late in the middle rounds. Give me from like say 8 to 10.
Mhm.
Give me 8 to 10 because the 10 professional fights, this dude ain't win no 12 rounds. You're about to go in there with the
Mhm.
killer for 12 rounds. Terrence.
Hold on, let me see. Has he even gone 12 rounds? Shit.
Oh yeah, well he won a title, so he had to have,
Oh, but
right?
it was a decision. He didn't finish the guy. Let
Oh, he knocks him out. You're right on that.
me
You're
see
right
here.
on that.
He finishes them in 5 rounds,
5 rounds, yeah.
unanimous decision. 10 rounds before that. The only one he was scheduled. Yeah, every other fight. Oh, here we go. Okay, back in 2020, he went 12 rounds with this dude named Eric Walker. But besides that, yeah, one time he went 12 full rounds.
Yeah, so no, I think with Terrence's, if Terrence is able to apply his pressure, walk you down, break you like he does all of his opponents, he's gonna have this guy out of here in the middle rounds. Unless this dude could take a fucking punch for 12 rounds, I see Terrence stopping him TKO, whatever. They'll stop the fight because mismatch,
Mhm.
mismatch.
Yes, that is the perfect description because that's the direction I'm going as well. Of course, obviously he's going to be the heavy favorite, Crawford. I'm saying, I don't anticipate that. I mean, these European fighters are very mentally strong, right? So he's going to find himself in some dark corners a couple of times. He's going to be in dark times in that ring. I don't know if he's willing to, you know. Come back. Yeah, I don't know if he's gonna have that perseverance to be able to be like, fuck, that round was terrible. Let me come back the next round and show what I got. I don't see it going the distance either. I do see Terrence taking him out. That seems like a pretty good prediction. I'm gonna say 8. I don't like to give ranges. I want to be exact. Even if I'm wrong, I'm exact. But if I'm right, I'm right. I'm gonna say 9. I'm gonna say 9. In 9 rounds, he finishes them on the ninth round. In the ninth round, TKO. I don't know if he drops Madrimov, but he gets him hurt to where the referee jumps in. I think.
They don't have a over under on those odds. There's no
Uh,
over unders on there.
not on this one at least. It just says. Let me see. Mm, no, it gives me those results, and then no, and then it says method. It gives me the method. At least here, if you go to the casino, I wouldn't be surprised if you
Of
do have the
course.
sheets there. But
Yeah.
right here, as far as like, it just shows Majarov decision or Crawford decision or Crawford KO, yada yada. But no, no over unders on this one.
Yeah.
So that being that's going to be pretty solid card, right? I mean, it's how can I explain it? It's worth buying if you guys do decide to actually purchase it. I'm gonna look up what the pay-per-view price is because I actually don't know what the hell it is right now. But
It's
here we
worth
go.
it.
All
I
right,
think it's worth it.
it's
No,
$80. Yeah.
that's pay per view though. You know what I mean? We can't expect. At least it ain't 100. You got Terrence Crawford, who's the face of boxing or one of the faces of boxing. He deserves it. He's going up against the title. He's moving up in weight. Takes on a champion. Doesn't even, whatever. He deserves it. Andrew Ruiz, Miller should be a decent heavyweight scrap. These guys throw down, right? So hopefully they show up. And then, dude, how can you not pass on Pitbull? I think it's worth the pay per view. They gave us 3 good fights. We should respond to it. And I know, aren't we missing one?
David
Uh, um,
Morrell. David
Morel,
Morrell.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Morel kid's on there. No, the Puerto Rican kid.
Yeah.
And he's a little heavier, right? He's already light
Oh,
heavyweight.
yes, because he was at 168 for a while, and then I think recently, or that fight, the Saturday,
This
will
one.
be moving up to light heavyweight. I don't remember if his last fight was at light heavyweight or not, but he is there now.
Yeah, so him and David Benavides can
Well, I hope so because I've been wanting them to fight for a minute, but they're both PBC guys, and very rarely they kept Benavides and Plant away from one another for quite a while until one of them got the loss. Finally, Plant got the loss against Canelo. Then like, all right, let's go ahead and do it. So I don't know if they're gonna do that, now with
all right.
because I would love to see Benavides even at light heavyweight. I don't give a fuck. I love to see Benavides and Morale because every time I mention Morale to my dad, man, I was like, that fucker's got 5 fights. They give him a belt already. He's not even in the ring yet. They're giving him a belt already. So we're not fans of Morrell in this household apparently. With how few fights he has, and he thinks he's hot shit over here talking how he wants to fight against Canelo and whatnot. But I would love to see him against Benavidez, even if it's at 175. All right, well, that was a fantastic show. Goddamn, we got a lot of fucking things in there. Anything else? Any breaking news you want to take a toss real quick before we
All right.
go ahead and get in there? Looking forward to this weekend, of course. There is going to be also a UFC card that's going to be not that great. I mean, bantamweights are going to be the main event. I always love the lighter weight classes, so I'll be watching ESPN Plus in case you guys want to catch it. But pay-per-view, of course, Crawford and Madrimov with the two great undercard fights that we mentioned. And for $80, not bad, right? Not bad. I would say if you're willing to fork up the cash, $80 isn't too bad for a solid 3-card. I mean, the pay-per-view will have more fights, of course, but those are the 3 that they're advertising that are at the top of the card. Anything?
Yeah, keep going, dude. I seen something. I'm trying to find it.
Oh.
It looked like they did announce something though. Hey, you gotta say about De La Hoya making the announcement with His Excellency about a fight going to be announced soon.
Oh yeah, well so I'm kind of on the fence about that. By the way, if you guys didn't look at it, if you guys didn't catch the post where Oscar is in their hotel room or wherever the fuck they are with His Excellency, it looked awkward as shit. I'm not sure if His Excellency is very I don't know if he understands social cues. Some people just grow up but weird, and then they just don't know how to be, they're socially awkward, in other words, what I'm trying to say. That's kind of the impression that I got here. It was like Oscar and him kind of like yeah, we're going to have an announcement, and His Excellency trying to spit out whatever it is he's trying to say, and Oscar's kind of not helping him, just kind of letting him drown in whatever it is he's sinking in what he's trying to say. And then finally Oscar comes in and is like, yeah, we're going to make an announcement very soon. And they basically said a lot of nothing by using a lot of words. It was kind of those very awkward moments where you're going to shake somebody's hand and they give you the dap, and then you do the dap, and then they try to shake your hand, and it was very weird, their little interaction there. So but ultimately they were able to spit out that they're going to have some sort of fight announcement very soon. We don't know what it is. They didn't give us any sort of teasers or anything along those lines, so we can kind of get the impression of what we're going to be seeing. But it seems as though that's the direction they're going to go. Mind you, we already know that His Excellency and Riyadh season has signed deals with both Top Rank and Golden Boy. So it seems like he's going to go with Golden Boy first, at least as far as the major fight, whatever it ends up being, and then maybe Top Rank afterwards. Any luck, Andrew?
Yeah. Now, the real Baby Miller is also fighting Saturday. Jared Anderson.
Oh shit! No shit! Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck have I been? Okay.
Yeah, it shows him and Terrence Crawford. Top Rank is posting him and Terrence Crawford will be fighting this weekend. I just put it on our page on Mad Boxing page on Facebook. So I forgot about that. Remember, he was supposed to be taking on a Wilder, wasn't it?
Yeah, one time.
Remember that? Yeah, he was gonna fight Wilder. That card would have been insane, bro. If it would have been Anderson and Wilder, Ruiz and Miller, that would have been insane. So yeah,
if they kept like Sue and fucking Ortiz, Lord, that would have been off the Jesus. Even if that card was $100 pay-per-view, I would pay for that. I would have
bought that. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So I don't see there was something about David Benavidez. I can't find it for whatever reason.
Him deciding to stay at 175, keeping that belt and dropping the.
No, it showed him looking like he was matching up with someone. It might have been that Turkish guy fucking announcing something.
I see.
Yeah, I can't.
Just a quick shout out to our homie Sam Navajero. Recently, Australian boxing's gold medal hope Harry Garside has been knocked out of Paris 2024. So, sorry about that. We just I had to throw it in there.
That was a long 4-year wait.
I know, just for him to be out.
That sucks.
So sorry, Harry Garside, if I'm pronouncing your name right. Sorry, Sam, but your Australian hope is out of the running, or at least for this Olympics. But anyway, I think that does it. If you're unable to find it, Andrew, no biggie.
Okay.
We did a solid one. We will be next.
No, it says right now. It says this is real communism. Venezuela president has activated military personnel to stop people from voting. Doesn't sound good. Yeah, I don't know. Doesn't sound good over there. He's all, I will remain president.
Yeah. It's like, not if we don't vote for you. Not if you can't vote at all.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's
okay,
all
okay. Yeah,
thinking.
exactly. Right. There's that meme is like, yeah, you can't vote for someone else if you don't have the right to vote. All right.
All
Well,
right, you guys.
thank you guys for joining us and letting us yap out for 2 hours here. Looking forward to this weekend's fight. Don't forget Crawford and Madrimov. We will be back next Sunday and talk about the results because I'm sure there's going to be plenty to talk about because that fight's going to be pretty bomb ass. So thank you once more for joining us, guys. Enjoy the rest of your work week, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.